Yeah, dog. So we got some stuff to talk about.
Oh my Jesus. Marvel Jesus said that, but not just Marvel, everything. So as we're coming to you today on camera. On camera this time. Depending on where you're watching this.
Right.
But if you're just listening, we still love y'all too.
Yeah, yeah.
Just not visually. But we will continue to pump every ounce of our love directly into your ear pipes.
Wherever we can. Whichever pipes you got open to us, we'll pump our love into.
That's correct. You can always count on us to pump our love into you.
I really wanted to have this going for the Deadpool and Wolverine review, but
it's probably going to be
probably for the best
because there were a lot of Dick and Nips references.
Yeah, there were. And I don't know if YouTube has a distinct limit on Dick and Nips references. We probably hit it. Yeah, we hit it for sure.
This is like a supersonic, Super Saiyan episode of comic news right here,
bruh. Yeah, this is the most Brolic episode of comic news you've done, and that's saying something.
I mean, this is the technically San Diego Comic-Con is still going on, although for those of you who are fortunate enough to be at the Mecca, to be at San Diego Comic-Con, I've been, and I can tell you that Sunday afternoon, you are probably insanely tired and probably ready to go home and sleep for 36 or so hours.
Yeah, so you've had the privilege to attend the San Diego Comic-Con. It was 2015?
Yeah.
And so just for the homies listening again, explain to them the process of getting into Hall H.
So to get into Hall H, and I guarantee you that it was worth this year. I didn't really follow all the feeds and stuff because I don't care. I'm not there. But essentially, first of all, you get tickets to Comic-Con, which is a luck of the draw thing. Mm-hmm. If you went the year before, you do have early registration, but there's only so many slots for that. So really early registration just gives you an extra chance to get in.
Right.
So it's not like if you went last year, you're guaranteed to get in this year. But there is an opening wave of early registration for the people who went the previous year. If you don't make it into that, you still can try the general pool, which is basically it's a lottery. You go sit on a website, you sit there for an hour or whatever, and it's luck of the draw. You might, and you have to buy it by a day. So, by the time it's your turn to buy tickets, you may have just Thursday. Yeah, is the only day you can go. Which means you and I living across the country, not really worth it.
Yeah.
To fly all the way out there.
Right, for a Thursday.
For a Thursday, which not a lot. It's not. It's not like on Thursday. It's the warm up.
Yeah.
You just gotta fly all the way across the country to blue ball yourself. It's the pregame, exactly. And then once you get there, if you want to get into Hall H, which is where all of the craziest things happen, Hall H seats 5,500 people.
Damn. So
to get into Hall H, what you have to do is you can start lining up usually about a day or so before. I guarantee you this year with Marvel Studios being there, it was probably at least 36 hours.
That's insane.
So meaning, if you wanted to get into Hall H for the extravaganza last night, you had to get in line on Thursday afternoon. Now, you will be in that line from Thursday afternoon until around midnight on Friday night. Because holiday opens at 10 a.m. Right? Around midnight, though, they will come out and they will start at the door and they will start to hand out wristbands. So the first, let's say, 1,200 or so people, they will get Section A. That's the closest section to the stage. When that runs out, Section B, Section C, Section D. Once you get your wristband, you can leave. You're guaranteed a spot in that section. You have to be back, I think, by 8 a.m. So if you want, you can go back to your hotel and get, 4 or 5 hours of sleep or whatever before you actually go into the hall. A lot of people will just camp out, though. They're bringing tents and everything and just camp.
Yeah, that's fucking wild.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where obviously I would love to experience at least once. But man, there's some aspects of it that I just do not look forward to.
I read Hush, cover to cover.
Yeah, that's a good place to get some reading.
Yeah, definitely a good place to grab you a cotton here book and just veg out or two, you know. But yeah, once you get in all this, you're in there all day. If you leave, you're fucked. Cannot get back in.
So once you leave,
that's it. And they'll let somebody else from the line in. So, because there's people that stay in line just in case people leave, you know. For example, the year that I went, J.J. Abrams was there with the Force Awakens cast. The movie hadn't come out yet. And he invited everybody that was in Hall H to go to a free Disney concert across the street where they were going to be, the San Diego Orchestra was going to be performing songs from the Star Wars soundtrack. You know, like the cast and everything was going to be there at Disney show and everything. So it's just him. Everyone went with J.J. Abrams. Yeah. And the only panel that was left that night was actually a Joss Whedon panel. It was like an hour with Joss Whedon. And so,
at the time, that would have been,
he had like a halfway full Hall H because like pretty much everyone who was outside was coming in, but just for that one panel, you know. But, you know, it's either, you know, not many people have stepped on that hollow. Let me tell you, when I watched some clips of some of the things that happened there yesterday, it felt like I was there all over again, man. My skin was tingling. Oh, you know, it was just that incredible kind of feeling. So,
yeah, dog. Like, it looked dope. There were a lot of interesting announcements made, to say the least.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot. In fact, we got a lot to talk about here today. Do we want to go ahead and get into it?
You know what, you're right. But before we do so, proper introductions are in order. So, homies, one and all, welcome to a very special episode, a visual episode this time. Welcome of the Superhero Homies podcast. My name is Quentin, and as always, I'm here with my good friend, my brother, my co-host, the homie Caleb.
I'm always happy to be here. As a matter of fact, this week has been a nerd extravaganza because, let's see, earlier in the week, we covered The Boys.
Yep.
Season 4 part 2.
Yep.
Really all season 4, to be honest. And then we had a 1 day break. No, it was the next day. It was the very next day.
Yeah, the very next day.
Yeah, so Wednesday we recorded that. On Thursday we went to go see Deadpool and Wolverine. And then we were here until the wee hours of the morning recording the review for that. You should go check that out. It's the homie Dylan said today that it was probably his favorite thing we've done.
Yeah.
I really loved that episode. Very proud of that content.
Same.
As Bo Burnham would say, we fucking made you some content. And yeah, I mean, and then here we are today. We knew that San Diego Comic-Con was coming up. We knew that there would be a lot of news. I don't know that we knew that there would be this quantity or quality of news.
At first, I thought you said there were a lot of news, and I was like, I watched the wrong damn thing.
Yeah, wrong convention.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, dog. So, with that being said, man, where do we want to start with the news on this?
I would actually like to go first.
Okay.
I think this is a huge announcement. It's a crossover of epic proportions, and you know, this is not the most surprising thing to happen this weekend, but I did not want it to get lost in the madness, which is ironic because you have on a Batman shirt. Cartoon Network has announced their big crossover event, the Crisis on Infinite Mirths.
I saw something about this. What the fuck is this?
So there's apparently this show called Jellystone.
Okay.
Right now, and there's going to be this like massive crossover event on that show, and it's going to have the Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Lab, the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I don't know what that is. Ed, and Eddie. Making a show. Kevin will be hyped about that.
Yeah.
Adventure Time, Time Squad, Cow and Chicken, Johnny Bravo, Samurai Jack, Space Ghost, Ben 10, and other unannounced shows are all going to be crossing over into this.
All into one big mega event.
It's the Crisis on Infinite Mirths.
And then you say not to derail us already, but you never seen the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy?
No, I've never seen that.
Never heard of it?
No.
You probably have. It's I mean, the Grim Reaper is one of the main characters in the cartoon. He's got like a Jamaican accent. And then there's like this little mean girl, Mandy, and then this super dumb kid named Billy. And they go on adventures together.
No, this strange. No. Yeah, no.
But damn, so all of that crossing over together, that's either going to be some hilarious bullshit or just bullshit.
Yeah, it's either going to be a complete filter butt or it's going to be like really entertaining. So
yeah, so you know, it was what 3 years ago that CW did their version of Crisis on Infinite Earths, and they had some cool moments in it. Admittedly, I didn't sit down and like watch the whole thing because it's still still CW dribble at the end of the day.
right.
But there were some cool moments in it, especially for them.
There were. I mean, we got Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
Live action as Batman. I mean, you know.
So can't be too bad about that. Have you seen any of the Crisis on Infinite Earths animated movies?
No, but I mean nothing but bad things about them.
Man, I really wanted those to be good. I haven't sat down and watched them yet, so I can't judge them. But kind of similar. I've heard bad to mixed reviews on those. I gotta check them out. Crisis on Infinite Earths is already a difficult story to adapt, just because it was primarily made to streamline their universes as it is. But anyway, I digress. Crisis on Infinite Mirths is I say all that to say this. Crisis on Infinite Mirths, they don't really have that stiff of competition unless they're competing with the original 80s comic book.
Right.
So, yeah. Why is it called Mirths? Multiple Earths?
I think they're going. It's like Mirth. So
Okay.
they mean like mirth as in just like a joyous occasion type deal. Yeah.
Okay, well that tracks.
Yeah.
Let's get into maybe just dip our toes a little bit into some superhero news here.
I believe I just had some.
I'm sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want you to imply that I didn't have superhero news because
That was 100%.
fucking Space Ghost is a superhero.
Absolutely.
The Powerpuff Girls are a famous superhero team.
Of course. I would never imply that the Powerpuff Girls and Space Ghost and Billy and Mandy and the Grim Reaper and the girls from the regular show are not superheroes. That is not my implication at all.
And also, Dexter has done a good deal of superhero antics.
Dexter really had one of the first kind of like big major crossovers, you know?
Yeah.
Like, man, what's the name of that? He teamed up with like M for Monkey.
Yeah.
And what was it like that universe's version of like Captain America, Thor, and Hulk, whatever they were called. Yeah.
I think it was like
Incredulous
Hulk
or something.
Yeah. The like old school like Hanna Barbera looking versions.
The Please Don't Sue Us versions.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right on that. So what I meant to say was let's continue our superhero talk.
Right.
I misspoke.
Right.
That was on me.
Yeah.
Just to kind of dip our toe a little bit more, there's they made some more announcements about this upcoming Batman show, the Caped Crusader.
I heard about this.
Yeah, and part of me is actually pretty excited because I saw some stuff a few weeks ago. It looked good, and seeing the team working on it, I'm very cautiously optimistic. But then there's other things where I wonder how are they going to pull this off, seeing the setting of the show, So it is set in the 40s because Batman was created in 39, so he really took off in the 40s.
Right.
And so they want the show to be set during that time period, so there's no super advanced technology or anything like that. And I think it's interesting to have it set there. It puts them in a position where they can really surprise people in a good way, but it also puts them at an odd kind of disadvantage just because dealing with the period piece, you have to worry about adhering to that and those rules, but I'm curious about some things. So we got some very interesting, darker versions of a lot of characters that we're familiar with from the Batverse. Like their version of Harley Quinn, I think seems interesting. We talked about that a couple weeks ago on another comic news episode briefly.
Yeah.
But
What do you think about Oswald the Cobblepot?
yeah, dog. So hey, you know what? So I guess besides like from Penguin being like an ugly dude to an ugly chick, I'm curious as to what the difference is going to be.
Right. Yeah.
You know. So I mean, yeah, I'm not really sure exactly what the Penguin's deal is going to be.
It's possible that they just want to draw like a kind of a wall there and not draw any comparisons from the Penguin show.
Yeah,
because they're going to be coming on. They're going to be on at the same time.
right. Yeah, it seems like maybe they're leaning a little bit more into the I don't know, like the actual mutated human Penguin version. I don't know. I don't know what kind of version of Penguin this is going to be. If it's closer to Danny DeVito or like Penguin from the Arkham games. But yeah, Oswalda seemed seemed interesting to say the least. Two-Face seemed pretty cool looking as well.
Yeah, Two-Face I was interested in.
Yeah. What I'm also interested in, though, is that, like, there's no getting around the fact that this show is set in the 40s. Things were a little bit different in the 40s than they were in, like, a modern age. So...
There's a couple things, right?
Yeah.
So what's interesting is, like, Batman's technology wouldn't even have to be that cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
It wouldn't even have to
He's
be
got
that...
a literal rope with a grapple attached to the end of it that he's going to have to swing and throw, I'd imagine.
Is this the one that's actually got Bruce Timm involved?
Yeah, Bruce Timm.
That's kind of the only thing that is saving it for me right now.
I mean, J.J. Abrams is attached to it, as is Matt Reeves.
I didn't know Matt Reeves was involved.
I'm pretty sure it was Matt Reeves as well, yeah.
That's interesting. I mean,
yeah.
He doesn't seem really high budget. I do not want to see Batman fighting in World War II or anything like that, with it being set in the 40s.
I didn't even think about that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, please don't do that shit. Just don't do it, folks. Please.
While we're here, have you seen anything on the Penguin TV show?
I saw they put a trailer out, but I have not watched it. I've been derelict in my duties. Have you watched it?
I have not because I'm derelict in my duties, but because I forgot about it.
That's the same thing.
And I'll get around to it eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved the Penguin in the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Having a TV show that has, we talk about this all the time, and it's rule one.
Yep.
You got a TV show with a villain, and I mean, they are a villain, but the tendency with these kind of TV shows is to take them from a villain to a villain. And if you are not on the video stream, I was doing the air quotes.
The air quotes. Heavy.
Heavy air quotes. Yeah, the bold air quotes. So yeah, I mean, it's like everything else, man. If they stick to the integrity of the character, right, then they've won half the battle, right? And they already got an incredible actor playing him. What's his name?
Colin Farrell.
Yeah, Colin Farrell, who I've never really been a fan of. But he was transformative in that role.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't even tell it was him.
You really couldn't.
It was incredible. I mean, he just did such a good job with that. So, yeah, I mean, do I think he can chew up the screen for 10 hours or whatever the runtime is? Sure.
Yeah.
But they gotta give him something to do to where we don't necessarily want to see him get killed or whatever. Like, they have to really toe the line on there because technically your protagonist is a villain.
Yeah.
So you can't have him do anything so villainous like a Game of Thrones. You can't have him be, Joffrey Baratheon and it up.
Right.
But, we don't want him Loki season 1 ended up either.
When I first heard about this show, it got me thinking about a pretty pretty fucking cool comic series called Gotham Central. And Gotham Central it was about the police officers that work for the GCPD. And believe it or not, they are not all incompetent. You know, there's a handful of really good GCPD officers, and it was like stories and events from their POV that it would cameo Batman from time to time, but it was really about the people who work in the police station.
Right.
And it was really fucking good. And you know who reads it, and they'll recommend it to you. It's that good. So when I first heard about the Penguin show, I was thinking and hoping that it would be kind of more in that regard, because if you put it on the GCPD guys and girls, then you have the opportunity to still have protagonists that are actually good guys,
right?
And you can also put like a more. If it's a Batman TV show, we know Batman's not going to die,
right?
You know, with these GCPD officers,
anything,
yeah, these guys will fucking get shot in the face. Episode 1.
Well, what's interesting about that is they apparently originally had 3 spinoff shows in the Batman universe that they were going to do. They were going to do GCPD.
Yeah.
They were going to do the Penguin, and they were going to do an Arkham show, which I don't know how the fuck you do that.
Right.
It'd be like, because isn't that show just every week someone escapes from Arkham? And then, but anyway, they said that while the other 2 shows did get canceled, elements of those made it into Penguin. So it kind of sounds like they maybe kind of merged them all together, which is probably the right play.
Yeah.
So maybe we will get some of that.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting, like each season, kind of like you have a different GCPD main character, and then like the Penguin kills them at the end. Every season.
Right. Another way that show could work, again, would be like the way that the comic worked, because it took a lot of these villains from the Rogue Gallery and it made them scarier. Because we know that Batman has the capability of taking down these guys, but GCPD, I don't think that the police training prepares you for Mr. Freeze.
No. And the police training doesn't prepare you for the Penguin.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. Like I'll definitely check out the Penguin show, and I hope it's good.
Yeah, me too. I mean, if nothing else other than to just see Colin Farrell hamming it up,
But what if he just goes the opposite direction and we get like 1960s Penguin from him?
Oh no,
Batman! You'll never catch me.
That's what you're gonna get in that 40s.
Oh, the Caped Crusader.
I'll be honest with you, I'm not hyped about that.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah,
I couldn't see it in your face when you're enthusiastic. I thought for sure that you were just so hyped.
No, Bruce Timm's involvement, man, is really the only thing that's keeping me grounded with that one.
And I'll be honest with you, man, because even though I am cautiously optimistic, I got to be transparent with you and like all the other homies. Like Bruce Timm being in it or being involved with it is very cool. For those who don't know, he is basically one of the co-creators for the original Batman animated series. He did majority of the drawings and concepts and things like that. But if you're being honest, in terms of like the writing, that was mostly Paul Dini.
Yeah.
And I don't believe Paul Dini is involved in the show. So that is unfortunate. So in terms of like character designs and whatnot, yeah, Paul Dini is the co-creator in the sense that he drew a lot of these characters for the animated TV show. But in terms of story elements, that was really Paul Dini who did a lot of that stuff. So, could still be good. We'll see. That comes out, I think, August 8th. So, a couple weeks from now.
Yeah, not long.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is a lot of people thought that with everything going on, that James Gunn might pull a Kevin Feige here and might bring the business to SDCC. I think that he will, but I think he's going to do it next year.
Yeah.
Because when does Superman Legacy come out? Is that July?
I feel like it is. Yeah, in the summer, right?
Yeah. So I think it'll be right around then. I don't know if they'll do a Legacy panel or not, but I think that they will do a what's coming up for DC Studios.
Yeah.
Because I think, it's interesting. Like James Gunn was actually asked, like, "Oh, hey, are you going to do a panel at Comic-Con?" He was like, "No, I'm shooting a movie."
Yeah.
You know, he was like, "I will be working."
Right.
And that's honestly the thing, you know, the right thing to do because, you know, a lot of movie productions they would shut down for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, send everybody home,
Mm-hmm.
take everybody to Comic-Con, pick it back up.
Right.
And of course, it's just like the director and like the executives and the main cast that's doing that. Everybody else is just going home, sitting around twiddling their thumbs.
Right.
You know?
Waiting to go back to work.
But we did get a little bit of the DCU here. We actually there was a Jim Lee panel. I actually didn't know he was involved with this at all.
I didn't see this.
Yeah, so there was a Jim Lee panel, and the Jim Lee panel, they dropped a trailer for Creature Commandos.
I did see that.
Which is going to be the very first entry into the DC universe.
Right. Chapter 1 is called Monsters and Gods.
Gods and Monsters, yeah.
Gods and Monsters, yeah.
Which is actually, Bruce Timm did a 3-part series about that as well, where it was like, the Superman in that one was like actually half Lex.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I loved that.
That animated movie, right?
Yeah, I loved that. Sean Gunn is going to be in it. Sean Gunn's actually playing 2 characters.
He's playing Weasel, right?
And G.I. Robot.
Oh, okay.
David Harbour is going to be in it as Eric Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
Alan
Grillo, he's in it, right?
Frank Grillo is playing Rick Flag Sr.
Yeah.
Alan Tudyk as Dr. Phosphorus. I'm not familiar with this character.
You've probably seen him in Batman Beyond. He's like the green, glowy skeleton guy.
Oh, okay.
Similar to that.
And, you know, of course, our girl Viola Davis is going to be reprising
Who's she going to be?
Going to be reprising her role as Amanda Waller.
Yeah, so I watched the teaser trailer for that. It looked good. It reminded me of like Suicide Squad meets kind of Doom Patrol, and you know, like 1 or 2 other kind of team up books. I want to see more though. Like the trailer got me intrigued. The teaser got me intrigued, I should say. But I'm waiting for a trailer to really see what this is going to be all about. Do we have a release date for that yet?
Yeah, we actually do. It's supposed to be coming out this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what the exact date is on it yet, but James Gunn is saying this year.
Shit, all right, I'll take it.
Yeah, it's scheduled to premiere in December. It's going to be on Max.
Well, hell yeah, then. Shit.
It's got to be good, right? I mean,
I think so.
The thing about the DCU, and, you know, it's possible that they're really gearing this thing up to be kind of adult, you know?
Yeah.
Because the first 2 entries are going to be this and Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Because Peacemaker's already filming as well.
That's right, season 2. Peacemaker season 2, man.
Oh, no, I misspoke. Superman Legacy will be coming out before Peacemaker. Because they also confirmed during Comic-Con that Peacemaker Season 2 is going to directly deal with the events of Superman Legacy.
Oh, really?
Yes.
See, that has me curious there. So is it going to be cleaning up some mess?
Yeah, probably. You know? Yeah. They're probably going to call him in to do like whatever the lowest level bullshit is.
Right.
He's going to be Vulture from Homecoming. He's
gonna be
doing that shit.
Still in tech that ain't his.
Yeah.
So that does have me curious, man. And I think this is something you mentioned last year or year before, something like that. But like with the DCU, how does Peacemaker fit into that? Because this motherfucker, is he a Nexus character? Is he a character that just jumps universes?
Yeah, essentially it's going to be like, they're just going to kind of fold him into the DCU.
Yeah. And
it's going to be, don't think about it, Morty.
Okay.
Like, straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'll be honest, like, obviously, it's for the better that we're moving on from the DCEU and that's wrapped up and behind us. But the ending to Peacemaker Season 1,
yeah.
I really enjoyed it. But at the same time, that kind of nullifies it from being part of the DCU, right? Because, you know, the end of that Season 1, we saw the Justice League show up at the last moment, and you know, how does that really tie in? And then you see two of those agents again at the end of Shazam 2.
Right.
You know, so I don't know. I don't know what any of that means.
Right. No, me either. Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But shit, Peacemaker comes across as such an unreliable narrator. Maybe he doesn't even fucking know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That'd be an interesting way to go about it, where it's like it like goes to like they play like how season 1 went, and then they just kind of pan out, and he's like laying on like a therapist's couch or whatever, you know, and he's like, yeah, so that's how it all went, and the therapist just like, that's weird, none of that was really in the news or anything. It seems like it would have been. You're like, oh no, yeah, it was all top secret, you know,
Right.
just kind of play it like that.
Yeah. That's probably the best way. Make a quick joke, wink and nod at it, and then move the fuck on.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to clean it up nicely.
No, don't think about it, Morty.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But we gonna see.
We gonna see.
We gonna see what the fuck happens with that. What else we get here? Oh, The Boys got some news. There's a prequel series.
This was huge, actually.
It was.
Yeah, before Saturday, I actually thought that this was like the news.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting a prequel series called Vought Rising.
Yeah.
That's going to star Stormfront and Soldier Boy with their original actors.
Yep. I want to see this.
I also want to see this.
Yeah. I mean, I know that you weren't big on season 3. It's not my favorite season either, but it's not because of Jensen Ackles.
No. Jensen Ackles was like Jensen Ackles is the reason I think 3 is better than 4.
Yeah.
Is because it was like 4 was just kind of like 3, but it was missing that. It was missing the secret sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jensen Ackles carried that show on his back for that 3rd season.
I think so too. And Stormfront, she was a standout in the show when the show was at its peak.
Yeah.
You know, so I really want to see like the debauchery that they get up to. Now, I think they said this show is set in like the 50s.
Yeah.
I want to say.
Well, you know, the thing is, I didn't mean to cut you off, but Stormfront was worse than Homelander.
Yeah.
You know,
she was legit full on Nazi.
Yeah, she was a fucking super Nazi. And then it's like, you know, they actually could do a full arc where they could go up against her and beat her.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's what the other seasons are really missing, where it just doesn't feel like the story is moving forward, or it's moving forward at a snail's pace.
Right.
Because Homelander's front and center, and you know he's got plot armor for now. You know.
Yeah, until the end of the show, yeah, he's got the plot armor.
Right.
You know, and that is why. That's why he worked so well for season 1, because, you know, obviously he's going to stick around, but we get to see how scary he is in season 1.
Right.
In season 2, they get to double down on that, but there's another antagonist in the meantime who is equally as disturbing in a different way, you know, that we get to thwart.
Yeah.
And, you know, by the time we get to season 3, we get Soldier Boy, who was also a great antagonist, but he was his own thing altogether, you know.
Right.
But the problem is the plot didn't move forward a whole lot. They did a few things to kind of nudge the plot forward, but not particularly. Season 4, we didn't have really any of that.
They have any? No.
So I did read one funny comment online. I take it as a joke, and I don't know. It's the internet, so they might have meant this shit. But someone said something like, man, so they're giving 2 of the biggest races in the TV show in the series. And I'm like, yeah, they are. But they're 2 of the best characters. And that's saying something, because there's a lot of good characters in that series.
Yeah. It's crazy that, you know, this show is supposed to be like a parody of superhero franchises and stuff, but if you look at it, right now they have the main show, which I keep seeing referenced as The Boys Mothership, which is funny to me. And then you have The Boys Mexico with Diego Luna coming.
Oh, I didn't see this.
You know about this?
No.
Oh, no, this has been greenlit a while. Yeah, The Boys Mexico is like a spinoff show that's it's already in the works.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, Diego Luna's on board. I think he's starring and producing.
Damn. Okay.
And then you have
I can't imagine what Mexican Gen V is.
Then you're gonna have we got Gen V season 2 coming.
Yep.
And then now we have Vought Rising. So we have 3 spinoff properties going at the same time.
Yeah. Are they ever gonna do another season of Diabolical?
I doubt it.
That's fucking diabolical.
I still love the Justin Roiland episode of that.
Oh
it's
yeah,
tremendous.
Yeah, there were some really good episodes in that anthology.
There really was.
They should revisit that if they have the ideas.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you got the ideas, right?
Yeah.
You know, you gotta. But kind of that thing where they let everybody do their own animation style and their own just letting everybody make their own episode of it. That was a really cool way to go.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You would think that they got to try to get something out next year, right? Since we know that the boys won't wrap for 2 years, so
either Gen V, right? It's coming out next year.
Yeah.
But back to this prequel show here with Stormfront and Soldier Boy. Who do you think else is going to be on the team with it being set in the 50s?
Well, Noir, right? I mean, he was part of their team.
Was he around then? Because when we see him in the flashback, that's in the 80s.
Oh, right. So it's going to be set in the 50s?
I think so.
Well, we don't know how long that team had been around.
That's true.
So that could have been the team the whole time, I guess.
It could have been. I mean, and it says in the 1950s.
Okay.
The early exploits of Soldier Boy and the diabolical maneuvers of a suit known to fans as Stormfront, who was then going by the name Clara Vought.
You gotta wonder, right? Is she gonna? I guess she's gonna be kind of doing a Hydra type thing. Yeah,
or maybe we see her heel turn. Maybe she's not always.
Well, you would think that they would have already known about it and never brought her back if that was the case.
Well, yeah.
You know? So, I mean, I could totally see where it'd be something where, Soldier Boy is supposedly cleaning up Nazis from World War II.
Yeah.
But, she's pulling a Vic Mackey and, giving him bad intel and making sure that, giving them a heads up, oh, yeah, Soldier Boy's going to hit the bunker next Tuesday or whatever.
It's funny, right? Because when you think about what happens if a bad person gets the super soldier serum, you think Red Skull, because that's kind of the antithesis of Steve Rogers, right?
Right.
But there's also the other side of that where you get something like Soldier Boy.
Right.
Who on the surface looks like a good guy, but really is kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
Fun fact, in the comic books, he is a bitch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's background character bitch. I mean, he is literally, and I mean this literally, he is Homelander's bottom bitch. Yeah.
Instead of his dad?
Yeah, instead of his dad, yeah. He was a interesting character.
Well, he could be both in season 5.
I don't want the show to go that fucking dark. I think I'm good on that.
Okay.
Oh, shit. Alright, what else we got? Vought Rising. That's not a DLC for V Rising, is it?
No. No, I actually don't really want to fight any of those people in that game because, I'm just a vampire in that.
Yeah, that's true. I'm surprised we haven't seen a Blade ripoff yet in The Boys.
That's true, and the funny thing about Blade and San Diego Comic-Con is that the two of those things have nothing to do with one another because they didn't mention it at all.
Yeah. And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about right now, we'll keep it vague.
Yeah, very true. We're not going to do any Deadpool Wolverine spoilers here, but there has been a lot more news and stuff pouring out about that. And, we did get some news from that panel, because they actually had a panel Thursday night, where they spoiled a lot of shit from the movie.
I was curious about that, right? So, the cool thing to do would be if they could have shown it at the event, that would have been a baller move to do.
Yeah. Well, they did.
Oh, they did show the whole movie.
So if you went to the Deadpool Wolverine Thursday night in Hall H, they screened the whole film, so you got to see the whole thing.
Okay.
And let me tell you, the screens in there are amazing. I guarantee you that was just next level. Like, awesome.
That would have been dope.
Because it's not just the one big screen in the middle. There is a giant screen in the middle.
Yeah.
But they actually have, like, kind of like at WrestleMania where they have, like, the screens that hang down. So, like, everybody's, like, close to one. But they also have a giant one that, like, wraps all the way around.
Damn.
It's really incredible.
I think that more movies should do that. Especially superhero movies. Like, if your shit's going to release around Comic-Con time, do that.
Yeah.
And then have a panel, like, especially if you know it's a dope movie. Like, if you got, like, the Eternals, maybe don't do that. But if you got, like, a Deadpool and Wolverine, for sure, do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, it was, they showed the road cut the year I was there.
That's right.
I didn't go see it, but, I did get the t-shirt and the Blu-ray from them.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So let's see. They showed a season 2 trailer for Rings of Power. All right. Anyway, on to the next thing. Yeah.
Oh shit! It's kind of funny, man. Because I have that here, like one of my dockets here, and like the exact verbiage that they use here for Rings of Power is. And this is Polygon I'm looking at.
Yeah.
They say Rings of Power Season 2 is a win for better gender representation in Middle Earth. They don't tell me shit about what it's about. Or how good it is.
Yeah. Yeah,
Thankfully, there is another docket that says Rings of Power's San Diego Comic-Con trailer actually looks like what the Lord of the Rings show we were promised.
yeah, I did watch the trailer.
Okay.
And I will say that having watched season 1 and watching this trailer for season 2, this trailer does look a lot closer to what I felt like was going to be the show. I don't want to get into the abs. Have you seen the show?
No.
So I'm gonna spoiler season 1 here. Like, when they get the recipe for the 3 rings, right? Which, make no mistake when I say this, in the actual lore, Sauron doesn't know anything about the Elven rings at first. He's completely unaware that they made them because Celebrimbor made them in secret. And as soon as the One Ring was forged, the elves immediately felt it, and they took them off. They don't give a fuck about none of that. Because in the Rings of Power Season 1, Sauron is standing there and gave them the fucking recipe.
Oh.
Yeah. And then Galadriel knows that it was Sauron, that by the end of the season, that showed them how to craft them. But it sounds like that she's still going to put the shit on. So, it's insanely silly, right? I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's incompetent at best.
Right.
And at worst, I guess it's just like contrived as fuck writing, but it's really probably both, if we're being honest.
I haven't seen it, so I can't judge it too harshly, but from what I hear from you and so many people, it feels like the biggest sin of Rings of Power is they tried to make a Lord of the Rings show that's not for Lord of the Rings fans.
Yeah.
And I don't know how the fuck you get that in your mind. How do you fix your mouth to say something like that?
Well, it's just it's also it's just such a corporate creation. You know what I mean? You can feel it seeping through every ounce of the show, where it's just like someone, and we literally know that what happened is Jeff Bezos was like, "Go get me some Game of Thrones money." They worked out a deal with the Tolkien estate, and literally their only purpose there is that they're just go drum up something that people will watch.
Yeah. And
it's mind-blowing how you feel that in almost every frame of that show. They'll go to, they'll show like Elendil, or they'll go to, Somebody's probably screaming it right now. That's the thing. I can't remember Aragorn's, like, where his, Numenor. They'll go to Numenor. And, oh, fuck, we never got to see Numenor in live action. And then, like, when they go there, it's where Narsil was forged. Mm-hmm. They cannot help but catch 30 shots of it. Someone's walking past it, close up on the sword. Yeah. Hey, you remember? This is going to be real important. It's kind of like Gotham,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh.
And, it's just, I love Celebrimbor as a character. If you played the Shadows of Mordor, Shadows of War, that is a area of the universe that I'd really like to explore. Like, I think he's a really complex character, getting more into, like, his backstory and stuff. Same with Galadriel, but Galadriel is, like, the worst thing in season 1. And it's not the actress's fault, it's the writing.
Yeah.
So, I watched the trailer for season 2, and it definitely looks like it's going to be more action-packed. The rings are going to be more involved. It looks like by the end of this season, all of the different races are going to have theirs. So, it's interesting, right, to see where we're going with that. And Celebrimbor also looks like he's going to be in it more.
Was he in season 1? I mean,
he was briefly in it, yeah. So, I want to see more about that. There's a lot of things that worry me in the trailer, too. Specifically that it looks like they're going to fight a fucking Balrog. Which makes no sense, because they should all be asleep.
It's a recognizable character.
Yeah, I mean, and I guarantee you that they're going to shoehorn Gandalf into the thing, too, and he shouldn't even be on Middle-earth yet. It's, and I don't want to come across as, like, that person who's just like, oh, this is getting all this stuff wrong, but if you intend to set this in the same universe, don't break that universe's rules, and definitely don't break their fucking canon.
Right.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna watch it, and we'll see if that ends up being hate watching it. So.
Yeah, we'll put it this way, Laurie. Like, you were supposed to review Rings of Power Season 1 a while ago.
I never did. I couldn't do it, man. I was not at a point in time where I could just shit on something for that amount of time. Plus, here's the other thing is, the only other person I know that's actually watched the whole thing all the way through is Kay, and she refused.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, everybody else that I know either hasn't watched it at all, or they DNF'd. So.
Damn.
Yeah.
I wonder then, so for this season 2, is it going to be them really... is it really going to be them working hard to win back the audience in a way that is true to form to what they feel the audience really wants? Or is this going to be something more akin to The Last Jedi? Where it's like, let's slap something together to try to make sense of what the fuck just happened.
Oh no. Might be more of a Rise of Skywalker, actually.
Yeah, that would make more sense.
Yeah. Just to get our obligatory reference in, I do have a Pepsi.
Yeah.
Shout out to Madam Web.
Yeah.
It's so weird, I never read those comics, but I didn't know that Marvel had a character that made Pepsi references and specialized in vehicular manslaughter.
Yeah, I think there's actually an issue in the early comics. You got to go way back, but when she first gains like the precognition, she does so from drinking a tainted Pepsi. Yeah. It's a very little known fact. Matter of fact, it's easy to miss. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and that's why we have you on the show.
Yeah.
For this level of expertise.
Of course, to fill in the blanks, to help you guys understand, because I'm sure a lot of you probably wondered, why the fuck does the Madam Web movie have a Pepsi in every goddamn frame?
It's called corporate sponsorship. However, speaking of things that we are going to watch, but this is not something we're going to hate watch, they also dropped Season 3 of The Legend of Vox Machina at SDCC. They haven't put that trailer out yet, I don't think. If they have, I haven't watched it, but production on that is underway, and also for Mighty Nine, so I'm really excited for both of those.
Yeah. There's actually a Mighty Nine comic book, like a complete edition that came out late last year, I want to say, and I need to pick that up. I want to read that, actually, before the TV show Because if it's like the Vox Machina comic, then it's going to be like a prequel.
Right.
That sets you up for it. And actually, just because I got busy, I never finished season 2 of Vox Machina.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I got to go back and finish because I was really enjoying it, but shit happened, I guess.
Do we want to talk about Mortal Kombat before we get into the...
That's fair.
The meat and potatoes?
Let's talk about some Mortal Kombat.
I actually got one other thing after that, too. So.
Okay.
But, yeah, so Mortal Kombat... Actually, I got two other things.
Shit, let's do it.
Mortal Kombat, it had a big panel, and they're going to be adding... Ghostface from Scream. Noob Sabat.
Well, he should have been... Well, no, I get it,
Yeah, they're going to be adding Cyrax, not the dragon.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, fucking Cyrax! And then I was like, oh yeah, there's actually a Mortal Kombat character. Sector, the T-1000 from Terminator 2 is going to be added.
Oh.
And Conan the Barbarian.
Yes, right. Yeah, I remember seeing Conan.
They've been doing a really good job with these like crossovers. And Mortal Kombat 1 is also the one that's got like Homelander and all that in it already, right?
Yeah, and Omni-Man.
Yeah. Very cool. Sounds like they really hit it out of the park with that game.
I think they did. From what I understand, they have hit like a wall where the player count fell off because there wasn't a whole lot to do in terms of like, I guess, additional content. But the game looked really good. And I really dug the premise of it because after all these years, that core story had gotten a little bit convoluted, even for Mortal Kombat standards. And so they kind of gave themselves a fresh coat of paint and a brand new start with Mortal Kombat 1, hence the name. So, yeah, and that's why I didn't wince when you said that they're putting Noob Sabat in it. Because I was always going to say, you already should have been in it. But yeah, since this is more of a restart, it makes sense that they're putting him in there now.
Apparently, they did show a trailer for Mighty 9 at SDCC as well.
Okay.
The next thing I want to talk about is like actually also video game related. They showed some footage from the adaptation of Like a Dragon, aka Yakuza, the video game series. Apparently they showed a little bit of that.
Boy, is that not out? I thought that was out.
No.
Oh, I'll be damned.
No, I don't think so. Yeah. Yeah, it's a live action TV show.
Oh, the TV. I was thinking about the video game.
No, not the game. Yeah, they're making a live action show. It's gonna be 6 episodes. It's gonna be released in 3 episode chunks of part 1 on October 24th and the part 2 on November 1st.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. I played the original Yakuza back in like 06 or 07.
It's so different now.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, Like a Dragon is on Game Pass, and it's basically a fucking RPG.
Really?
I mean, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's much more Shenmue than it is. It's the closest thing that resembles Shenmue that's around in modern games.
Yeah.
Because Shenmue 3 definitely ain't it, and it's old as fuck at this point.
Yeah, I had no idea that they were getting a TV show.
Yep, that's happening. One of the things I want to touch on, like I said, before we get into what you guys are probably all wanting us to talk about, but that's going to go on for a long time. So we're gonna, it's probably going to be like we're sitting at like 54 minutes right now. It's probably going to be longer than that. So
yeah, so get your dick and nips ready.
yeah. I recommend the salted caramel. We talked earlier about trying to limit our Dick and Nips references because if you haven't seen the Deadpool Wolverine review, it probably makes no sense. But
yeah,
check it out. And we actually did find out a lot more about that movie, I think, since the review of it, just like details people had caught or whatever. But
nobody caught the Dick and Nips though.
Nobody caught the Dick and Nips, just us.
Yeah.
And that magnet would have. But I did watch the trailer for Alien Romulus that they released, and I gotta say that looks really good. They are fully embracing the horror vibes of the first one.
Yeah, they are. I'm the wrong person to ask about Aliens because I'm a big fan of that franchise. I recognize that several of their movies have not been up to task, but in terms of long-standing horror franchises, Aliens kind of got one of the best track records.
I agree. I mean, 3 is atrocious garbage.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of people don't like Resurrection, which is one of those things where, like, when I found out about that, it was kind of like Batman Forever for me, you know? Like, I loved Batman Forever as a kid.
Yeah.
And then, like, you grow up and start talking to people, and people are like, no, that movie was terrible. I'm like, no. No, oh, you know, that actually reminded me, I got one more thing we got to talk about. But, I like Alien Resurrection. Mm-hmm. I thought it was good. I loved Prometheus. I did not love Covenant. Is it Covenant?
Yeah, that's the one after Prometheus. Alien Covenant.
I thought it was called, like, Paradise Lost or some shit like that. No, am I thinking about something else?
That's something else.
Okay.
Yep.
But yeah, the one that was after that still had Michael Fassbender in it or whatever, I did not like that at all.
Nope.
It felt very much like any of the Jurassic World sequels, but with aliens.
A little bit. Admittedly, there was a little bit of that going on.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it, but yeah, I kind of get why other people didn't like it. But one trick that no longer works on me anymore is when I see in the trailer or whatever, produced by the original filmmaker, you know.
Right.
So produced by Ridley Scott. That doesn't work on me anymore, you know.
Yeah.
Or with the Terminator franchise, also produced by Ridley Scott or James Cameron. I'm like,
oh, you know, they actually played this. They played that trailer in the theater the other day.
They did. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you, in the theater it hit. It looked scary as fuck.
Yeah.
It looked like, it kind of looked like a sequel to the first one.
It does.
You know, because the first one is a very different vibe than Aliens.
Absolutely. I would argue that the difference between Alien and Aliens is the same difference between Terminator 1 and 2, whereas the first one is a horror movie, a horror survival movie, and the second one is more of an action romp.
Right.
And Aliens is definitely that. I like Alien the most, but I still really like Aliens.
Yeah.
Bill Paxton was great. Obviously, Sigourney Weaver was great. And I just didn't like the fact that there's so many aliens, and those space commandos are picking those space marines are picking those aliens off.
Right.
You know, I'm like, God damn, like this is a whole fucking thing in the first one.
Well, you got to think, you know, like in the first one, they were on like a scientific vessel.
They were space truckers.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So, you know, it'd be like one of these things gets loose in the cab of your fucking semi-truck. Whereas,
it's a shorter movie.
Whereas, like, these guys were there to hunt and kill them, you know, so it was a very different thing. It'd be like, you know, if there was a bear in this room versus, like, there's, you know, a fucking bear outside of Earl's house from Tremors, you know.
It's oddly specific.
Well, I just know he's got a rifle that can one-shot a bear.
That's true. I was going to say Chuck Norris, so yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, you know. But, but before we get into the big Marvel stuff, there is yet another resurgence. It was trending over the weekend for the Schumacher cut of Batman Forever. Apparently, it's a thing. They are in talks with James Gunn about it. It's only going to cost about $1 million to put it out.
Really?
Yeah, because apparently the cut is done.
Yeah.
Like Schumacher actually had a darker cut. It's actually the original cut they pitched to the studio, and then the studio was like, "Nah, you know, we want to do like this, and this. You need to go back and recut it." So apparently there is a much darker version that actually has a lot more scenes of Bruce kind of dealing with his trauma and stuff. And there's apparently about $1 million worth of effects and music that need to be like redone or finished.
Fuck it, do it.
Yeah.
I would definitely watch it. I mean,
yeah, we review that shit in a heartbeat.
Absolutely, yeah. I do remember seeing the footage, a little bit of it, where Bruce is confronted by like a fucking giant man bat, but it's like his trauma man bat.
Yeah.
You know? Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It's like the creepy animatronic looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That was cool, creepy as fuck, and I can see where they cut it from, from the theatrical version. But I think a whole movie in that tone would make more sense. It would make Chase Meridian's character make more sense too, since he's like a therapist or a psychologist, whatever.
Yeah. And she wasn't bad in the movie anyway, but I actually I saw something where apparently they had a lot of talks with Robin Williams about being the Riddler in that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I would love to have seen how that would have gone.
Fuck.
Yeah. But apparently when he submitted the Schumacher cut, as is now going to be called, apparently the studio executives are like, "Why did you make this dark ass movie? Listen, we got Jim Carrey on the payroll. Just let him do whatever, and we'll make this fun movie." And don't get me wrong, I don't hate his interpretation of the Riddler, but it is just such a silly thing that's not in line tonally with the movies before it.
My problem really isn't what Jim did, because Jim Carrey did what Jim Carrey did in the 90s.
Right. Yeah.
So when they hired him on, they knew what they were going to get.
Yeah.
I guess my problem is, for whatever reason, Tommy Lee Jones felt the need to try to match that.
Right.
The two-face of all characters.
Yeah.
And
yeah. So, but that may be a thing.
Fuck it. Yeah, I'll put it on Max.
Yeah.
I'll definitely watch it.
Yeah, we'll review that shit.
Yeah. I would also love if James Gunn could find a way, go into the archives, go into the recycle bin, and see if you can recover Batgirl.
Yeah.
Let me see Batgirl.
Just put that shit out.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably legally can't now, though, because they wrote it off.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah. So even if it does exist.
Yeah.
But apparently it's like gone.
Apparently it's gone. But that just seems like such a waste.
Yeah.
And also Brendan Fraser, he seemed really tore up about it, because apparently he delivered a solid performance as Firefly.
Yeah, Michael Keaton was in it.
Yeah.
And
they brought back Commissioner Gordon from Omni-Man.
J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah. Everything.
His real name? Santa Claus? What is his fucking name?
Oh, fuck.
We would be able to tell you any other time.
I know. Yeah.
J.K. Simmons.
There we go. J.K. Simmons. Yeah. Yeah, he was in it as well. So.
Yeah.
Which I guess you definitely need a Commissioner Gordon in the Batgirl movie.
Yeah. I mean, right? Yeah. Man, I just want to say while we're here, I am super excited for the Supergirl movie. Like, I am really hyped for that.
Oh, so I forgot to tell you this, but in preparation for that, I recently ordered the newly released deluxe edition of the book that the movie is based off of. So that'd be because I never read that story. So it'd be nice to read that, take a look at that ahead of the movie.
Yeah, for sure.
It's written by Tom King, and Tom King is very hit or miss with me.
Right.
I either love it or I fucking hate it. And hopefully this Supergirl story is in the love category.
Yeah. Well, they got Millie Alcock from fucking House of the Dragon.
That's right.
Cast, and I am a huge fan of her.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Man.
I'm gonna tell you, man. If they want to put her, they got all these like roles that they're trying to like gender swap or whatever. If you want to get some credit, put her or Daphne Keane in these roles, and then give them a script that's actually good, and people will love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The issue though will always be, for some people they'll have issues because it's a woman.
Right.
I mean, you can't get over that.
And that's
But the main issue you're going to run into, I think, is well, Laura is cool, but I'm a fan of Logan.
Right.
Or Supergirl is cool, but I'm a fan of Superman.
Right.
And they got to find a way to work both of them in there, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like, me personally,
Yeah.
I like Kara way more than Clark.
Okay.
And I think that Kara has a fan base that's...
She does. I mean, hell, Laura has a fan base too.
I agree.
It's just hard. These comic book companies always put themselves in a position where it's going to be so much harder to compete with a legacy character.
Yeah.
I mean, look at how big Miles is. He's dwarfed by Peter.
Yeah.
And it's always going to be hard to get the newer version of that character out from beneath that shadow. You got to work hard to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Gwen is probably, has probably a bigger fan base than Laura, and maybe not Kara, I don't know, but...
Probably not Kara, but maybe Laura.
Because Gwen is big, A lot of people like Gwen, especially like the younger generation today, because they're Spider-Man is, into the Spider-Verse.
Right.
And she's got such a big role in that. And, it is hard to get past that,
Yeah. Which is, and this is why you always have to be careful, like, as a creator of comic books, that you don't put yourself in a deficit like that. People hated when Barry died in the 80s and Wally took the spot.
Yeah.
And we're talking about two white guys,
Right, yeah.
Like, people hated in the 90s when Ben Reilly temporarily took Peter's place.
Yeah.
And Ben Reilly is literally a Spider-Man clone.
Yeah.
Looks just like the motherfucker. So it's always difficult, and especially when you're asking comic book fans to accept any kind of radical change.
I think that Dick Grayson's run as Batman was pretty well received.
That's about the only one.
Yeah.
And that's because people knew he was primed for it.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's the fucking business.
And 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 he's fucking great. Yeah.
Eat a dick, Frank Miller. Man, while we're on this subject, David Zaslav told us, if it's not good, we won't put it out, and then release Blue Beetle. Because that was their justification for not putting out the Batwoman.
That's true. That is true. You can delete 2 movies, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta, and that should tell you something, all right? If Blue Beetle was the better of the 2,
oh god,
then what was Batgirl?
I don't even want to think about that. Well, is it time?
I think it's time.
We blue balls you guys for an hour and 7 minutes.
Blue Beetle balls.
Blue Beetle Borg balls.
Big bad Blue Beetle Borg.
Oh, it is that time. We have to talk about the salvo that Marvel unloaded starting on Thursday night, culminating with Saturday night at SDCC. We are pretty much in a fucking nerd wonderland at this point.
Man, there's a lot to unpack here.
Oh, man. So, I do want to just reiterate here, we are not going to spoil Deadpool and Wolverine for those of you who haven't seen it. But if you haven't seen Deadpool and Wolverine, what are you doing listening to this podcast? Quit your job.
Yeah.
Go home. Go to the movies.
Man, fuck that job. Fuck your job in particular.
Yeah. Go watch Deadpool and Wolverine.
Go watch Deadpool and Wolverine. It is worth it. It was... you, myself, the homie Kevin, and the homie Oz, we sat here and reviewed it, and we all really, really enjoyed it.
Let me tell you, the theater experience was incredible. There were so many pops in the theater, just huge reactions to things. There's tons of surprises in it. We're gonna do our best not to do any spoiling here.
Yeah.
One thing that got revealed at that panel though is from our good buddy Kevin Feige is that Hugh Jackman will in fact return as Wolverine.
He did say that.
Yeah.
We kind of predicted this anyway.
We did. There's been a lot of talk about, we've talked about this on the show before, Toby and Hugh kind of being the main protagonists of, now one of the next Avengers movies.
Yeah.
I'm still interested in seeing that, and it's kind of like, you hear a Marvel rumor, and you just kind of put it down there with all the other rumors that never came to fruition.
Put it right next to Mephisto.
Mephisto,
yeah.
Yeah. But we heard a couple rumors recently where we were like, they probably won't do that, and then they all came true in one night.
Right. Let's start with Fantastic Four.
Okay. Yeah. So Fantastic Four is going to be called First Step.
Flight. Oh no, First Step.
First Steps.
First Flight is a Green Lantern.
Yeah. So Fantastic Four has officially been titled First Steps, so it's been subtitled. Mm-hmm. It's very clear that they intend to make this into a franchise. I mean, obviously,
it's very Homecoming-y.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about this with this futuristic retro 60s style? What are your thoughts going on here?
I have a lot. So I have a lot of feelings about this, right? So clearly they're from another Earth.
Yeah,
I think. And I kind of proposed this to you off mic that maybe they were going to do like a Fallout type thing where it's like maybe it is 2031 or whatever in their universe, because that's the year it will be in the MCU by the time it comes out. Keeping up with that 5-year gap is going to get real annoying.
Yep.
We need one of the movies to wind time back 5 years,
right?
So it can just be the same year. But anyway, so I'm thinking that maybe it's like the culture in their world is still 60s-esque, but they do have some like advanced tech, kind of like the Jetsons, you know?
Yeah.
Something like that maybe. But I would be very interested in seeing that. If it is just straight up 60s level technology, I guess there's a way to go about that. It's just that I don't really want them to play the whole like man at a time thing again. Cap really,
Yeah, they can do the thing where like when they eventually come over to the rest of the fold in the MCU 616, where things are different but recognizable.
Yeah,
that's what I hope it is.
Yeah, and maybe they're going to do the whole kind of like Doc Brown thing where like. Reed Richards has like a cell phone that he invented. Like the world doesn't have it, but he's got it, and it's got like a little like satellite on it and all that shit. Do something like that maybe.
They got the Fantastic car, so in some ways, well, it's Reed Richards. So I wasn't saying in some ways they're more advanced than the mainstream universe, but that's not necessarily true. Reed Richards just be creating shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'm nervous about the setting.
I'm more nervous for the tone.
Yeah, I can see why they would want, and I can see why is going to come out of my mouth a lot tonight when it comes to some of the decisions Marvel has made. But I can see why they would want to go so far away from what we've seen previously, because while yes, Homecoming had a ton of hype behind it, we had gotten Spider-Man and Civil War. You have to remember that the Spider-Man franchise prior to Homecoming, prior to it coming to the MCU, was considered overall to be a pretty good success. Mm-hmm. Whereas Fantastic Four is not.
Never really has been.
I mean, there's been 3 movies. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I ever even saw the Silver Surfer one. If I did, I've forgotten it entirely.
Yeah. I watched it. I think that me and the homie Oz saw that in theater. But it was a movie. They ran into the problem where the writers didn't know what to do with Silver Surfer, so they gave him a bullshit weakness where if he gets separated from his board, then he's like powerless.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And Galactus was a fart cloud or whatever, so there was that too.
I seem to remember that, but wasn't Parallax also a fart cloud?
He was a rolling turd.
Okay.
Different.
Okay, my bad. I apologize.
So Galactus is going to be in the movie.
Yeah, they did did you see the cool ass drone show or whatever they did? I'm really interested, man, to see like how Galactus is going to, because you can't really one and done Galactus,
You say that and I agree, but what have they done with Dormammu?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Dormammu's still out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do think that if you're going to do Galactus can't be the main antagonist. There's got to be something else, right? But I think ultimately, like, either one of two things. Either Reed Richards and the crew find some way to make Galactus not eat Earth.
Yeah.
Or they end up having to jump to another universe because their Earth gets eaten.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that did kind of answer my next question, which was, why would they leave wherever they are to come to where the rest of the MCU is?
Well, so there's that thought process. There's also the thought process of, that there's an incursion.
Yeah.
Perhaps. And Doctor Strange has already laid the groundwork for that.
That's true.
But a lot of people think that the Earth that Monica Rambeau ended up in the end of Marvels is actually the X-Men Fox universe. And that's going to be with the incursion.
I don't want to spoil anything from Deadpool and Wolverine, but I'm wondering, how is that possible?
It is Kelsey Grammer's Beast.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I suppose. It's just one of those things where I feel like the same character could play, or the same actor could play the same character in different universes.
Right, true. But, yeah. I mean, that's just an educated wish, if you will.
Understood.
Yeah.
So, when I think about this Fantastic Four movie, I am curious then about who the main villain will be. There's a couple different directions they could go with it. One that we definitely going to talk about later on is Doom.
I mean, clearly they have to at least post-credits tease him in this, right?
They have to.
I mean, the concept that they went with in Fantastic wasn't awful. The execution was god-awful, but, this idea of, him being in the negative zone and them going there and inadvertently, bringing him in, was an interesting way to go about it. It just ended up terrible. If there's a problem with this movie, though, it definitely won't be the cast. I think the casting is superb.
I think that the casting is mostly safe.
It is safe.
Which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it does make me wonder if they have an idea of how they want these characters to be, or if they're just going off of how they want the fans to react to the casting.
I'll be honest, man. I think Joseph Quinn is going to, really kill it.
So far for the casting, he's the standout for me in a positive way.
Yeah. Getting Pedro Pascal is we know he's going to do a great job. He's probably going to be fucking great. But it's just it isn't, like you said, it's incredibly safe.
Yeah.
It's really safe. And at the end of the day, what we would really like from this is to see, kind of a Chris Evans, come forward where it's okay, yeah, we know of this person, but
right,
this is a role that's really, they're really going to be captivated by, be in it long term. A Tom Holland, get some more of these people you grew in the lab.
Welcome to the lab.
Shang-Chi isn't the best movie ever, but the casting is perfect for it.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Simu Liu, is that his name? He's incredible.
Yeah,
I've liked him in everything I've ever seen him in.
Yeah, I'm gonna need him to stay off Twitter, but yeah.
Oh, is he saying some dumb shit on Twitter?
Oh yeah, for a while.
Oh no. Yeah, see, I'm not on there. I don't have my account.
To his credit, it's not counsel him dumb. It's more like pretentious dumb.
Oh, okay, I see. I don't know which I prefer. As long as he ain't posting no Gina Carano shit on there, we'll be okay. Disney already would have done away with that.
That's
shit.
True. Yeah.
I'm interested, right? Because they have the thing about all this is they now have a string of movies they need to nail.
Yeah. 3.
Deadpool and Wolverine, we knew was going to be amazing. We knew it was going to be great.
Yep.
So it's so bad you could really fuck that up.
You're right.
But we have Brave New World coming out.
Uh-huh.
That movie doesn't have to be 10 out of 10. it's got to be a 7. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want it to be a 7. I want it to be like a 9.5.
Yeah.
But as long as it doesn't, it could be the Thor: The Dark World of Captain America. You know, it could just be like, oh, we went on a Captain America adventure. Didn't do anything super special. As long as it doesn't do anything to insult my fucking intelligence or trounce all over the character integrity.
Right.
Green check mark. Okay. Yeah. You know, it doesn't. The whole world's not weighted on this movie, and if it's not good, it doesn't. I mean, people are gonna be mad, but it's not really gonna ruin anything. Thunderbolts. Oh fuck Christ. Either way, right? Either way, it's either gonna be Marvel Suicide Squad,
yeah,
or it's gonna be Black Widow 2.
Bruh. That's a wide fucking berth.
I know. Yeah, it's all over the place.
Yeah, okay. So with Thunderbolts, I'm so conflicted, right? And I talked to you about this the other day about both Thunderbolts and Brave New World, which is you got Red Hulk and Captain America seemingly in an antagonistic role, but meanwhile in the Thunderbolts movie, you don't have Thunderbolt Ross, Red Hulk as the villain, which I thought was going to be the layup.
Right.
You know? Instead, they got the fucking Sentry.
Yeah.
Who on the Thunderbolts is going to fight the Sentry?
I think Red Hulk is going to possibly be a protagonist in that.
You think they're just keeping him...
I don't know that he's necessarily an antagonist
in Cap,
because the footage at SDCC... So we definitely know it is Ross, because in the footage at SDCC, they actually show him like giving like a presidential address, and he transforms at the podium, like on camera.
Yeah, which I'm so fucking glad that... And this shouldn't be said. I'm so glad that Thunderbolt Ross is the Red Hulk.
I'm sorry I put that in your head.
I'm sorry you did.
It had you worried about it. But I wasn't out of line.
You weren't.
Because there's some shit they have done and will do again. Looking at you, Taskmaster. But, you know, I think that, honestly, I feel like it's either Ross got the serum on purpose, like, had it engineered, whatever, got it on purpose, and then someone is, like, manipulating him in his inner circle or whatever.
Right.
I don't think he's the villain in the movie, ultimately.
Yeah, I think that is some kind of misdirect. Here's the problem, though. If he's not the villain... What villain is going to outshine Red Hulk?
What if it's a Maestro?
well, in that case, then you see you see like a Maestro and Red Hulk fight. Now I got mixed feelings because I guess I want Red Hulk to win this.
yeah, but he's in a bad fucking time.
Yeah.
I mean,
real fucking bad time.
Him and Sam better get on the phone with
somebody.
They better call up Shang-Chi and fucking...
Yeah, but those fucking magic bracelets ain't gonna do shit.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna call. Get She-Hulk and then let's get started on her redemption arc.
Oh, okay, yeah. Know? I mean, the 10 rings wouldn't hurt though.
Yeah, I just hated those in the movie.
Yeah, there's supposedly some kind of like Nexus item that's like there's only one in the multiverse or some shit.
That's like saying I got the only Slinky in existence. It's cool, sure, but it's not changing shit.
I mean, they better get Thor on the phone.
Oh, yeah. What the fuck is he doing now?
Yeah.
They making eggs for his kid?
Yeah, he's not hanging out with the Guardians anymore. So, Yeah, bring Stormbreaker and get your ass over here.
Right.
Yeah. It would be interesting, right?
He still has Mjolnir? Yeah, he's got both of them.
Nope. Just Stormbreaker. He sent Mjolnir back to Cap. Cap returned it to the...
No, well, because Jane had it in Thor 4. It was pieced together.
But so Jane actually
died.
Oh, right. Yeah, so I guess he does have.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I think Love has. I think Love has.
I fucking hate that movie, bro.
Or does she have Stormbreaker? I think that's actually it. I think she has Stormbreaker.
And he has Mjolnir?
Yeah, because...
you can tell that we're super familiar with this movie.
Yeah, it's so awful. Yeah. But at least it's the super cool Mjolnir.
Yeah.
I really like the whole, like, it can go break into pieces thing.
That part was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much Lady Thor's action scenes were about it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the Mighty Thor. My mistake.
Sleep. Can't go around stealing motherfuckers' names and call yourself. Imagine someone steals your identity and they're like, "Oh, that's Caleb, but I'm the mighty Caleb." Like, hey, fuck you. Kiss my ass.
They did also confirm adamantium. Is going to be their resource that old Tiamat is dropping. Is on his loot table.
Yeah. I'm so glad they're finally addressing that.
Right?
It goes to show that like they had no plans or clearly no idea what to do with that after Eternals.
There's just like so many loose threads that they kind of left hanging.
Yeah.
But I am excited for Brave New World. I mean, love it or hate it, like I can't say that yet, but I'm excited about it. I want to see what's going to happen.
Brave New World to me looks like Olympus has fallen for the MCU. And do with that what you will. I'm
fine with that. I mean, I'm fine with that as the theme, right? Yeah. It's all going to come down to the execution.
Right.
I like that it's going a thriller kind of route. I like, I think Anthony Mackie, I think the suit looks good. Yeah. I think, he's definitely great for the role. Mm-hmm. Harrison Ford, obviously if you wanted to get somebody if you wanted to face turn Thunderbolt Ross, Harrison Ford is the face to do it.
Yeah.
He seems genuinely happy to be playing this character.
He does, right?
Because, if you look at it, when they were redoing Star Wars, he seemed miserable the whole time on all the interviews and stuff.
He read the script.
Yeah, you're right, yeah. But he seems really happy about this.
He does.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, right? Because he's the oldest Ross we've ever had. He's 82 right now.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was that old. But it's funny, right? Because Sam Elliott, who was the original Thunderbolt Ross, is younger.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. He does look like he's having a good time. I noticed that too.
Yeah.
Again, I got to ask you. Well, you said Maestro. I was going to ask you again who you think the main villain is.
It's hard to say. You know what would be? Well, I mean, obviously, it's got to be Giancarlo.
You think he's the main villain?
I think he might be the primary antagonist, yeah. I think he might be behind everything. Because he's playing Sidewinder, is that his name?
Did they announce it at?
Yeah, he's the head of the Serpent Society.
Oh, so they are doing this. So they are doing the Serpent Society.
Yeah.
And Seth Rollins still going to be in it.
I hope not. But yeah,
okay. He in that case, then yeah, he very well could be.
They officially cast him as the head of the Serpent Society. Sidewinder, is it? Yeah. I really hope that this is not a one and done for him.
It's hard to tell.
If they couldn't get him for multiples, if he just said, okay, I only want to do one thing and this is what they gave him, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if they could get him for multiple things, I hope they did.
Let me ask you this. This is slightly unrelated. Do you feel the absence of S.H.I.E.L.D. in the MCU?
I don't know if it's as much as I feel the absence of S.H.I.E.L.D. I definitely like the S.H.I.E.L.D. story they had. What I want to know is where the fuck Sword is at. Because they showed the fucking mega sword ship forever ago, as far back as Far From Home.
Yep, Far From Home.
And you thought, okay, well, we're going to get Sword now.
Mm-hmm. And
crickets.
Nope.
At some point, are they in Secret Invasion at all?
Sword? No.
Motherfucker.
No.
Okay, well.
Which I can't wait for you to watch that show.
I'm about to do it soon, yeah. I almost started it the other day. I'm about to watch it soon. I'm just going to go ahead and bite the bullet. Because we got to do the rankings very soon, so I got to watch that and Loki. Yeah,
I'm about to start dual wielding Acolyte and Loki season 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So, be getting my money's worth from Disney Plus, I guess.
Yeah. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on Acolyte. We have to review that for sure.
Oh yeah. I think we also got the homie Dylan in line for that one. I think he wanted to be on that as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So
we got a lot coming down the pipe. Folks.
We do.
We got all the fucking content.
All the content. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting, man. Thunderbolts. They had David Harbour come out there in full get up.
Red Guardians.
Yep, in full Red Guardian get up. I think they're going to alter the tone of that character. I think he'll still be comedic relief, but I think he'll be useful comedic relief.
Right.
You know?
Because it's a waste of David Harbour to just have him being this like slapstick fucking character.
Yeah. If I were Russian, I would take it as an insult. Honestly, like, oh, so the American super soldier is fucking Steve Rogers, do no wrong, super BA badass, but the Russian super soldier is this.
I mean, that kind of goes hand in hand with the USSR, though, doesn't it? If you watch Chernobyl, you know.
Yeah. They probably don't like that show either, though.
I bet they don't. You know, that shit's rated like the second highest of all time, like as far as like critic scores and shit.
Okay, I didn't know if you're talking about like in terms of reception or in terms of like radiation level.
Yeah. It would be the highest. That and Fallout.
I was gonna say Fukushima has got to be up there.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We didn't see the footage for Thunderbolts, but they did describe some of it.
Yeah.
So it was like Yelena, she goes to visit Red Guardian, and apparently, like the way that the team gets together is they're all individually sent on assignments that kind of lead them to the same place.
Right.
And I guess I drew a blank on her name, Lady Hydra.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that her character is really kind of taking the Nick Fury role in the MCU now.
It's gonna kind of be more of an Amanda Waller, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, Lady Hydra, you know.
Right. Yeah.
The motherfucker's still around. She's got to be like the only one left, right, at this point.
I mean, yeah. I mean, maybe their adage is true. They cut off one head and two more take its place.
Right, yeah. We're going to get U.S. Agent here.
Yeah.
We're going to get Winter Soldier. We're going to get Yelena. We're going to get Ghost. Taskmaster.
The problem here that I have with this team of Thunderbolts, there's a lot of samey abilities going on here.
Yeah.
I mean, you got U.S. Agent, Yelena, Bucky, Red Guardian, that all kind of do the same thing.
Yeah. They're all just like mildly enhanced humans.
Yeah. Highly skilled in their craft. The quotation marks for Red Guardian. We don't know.
Yeah.
But, I mean, hell, even Taskmaster, because Taskmaster also came from the Red Room in this universe. So
right.
Throw her in the mix too. Like, so everyone almost does the same thing. Ghost is the only one that has any kind of practical application. You know, the ability to pretty much break into wherever.
Yeah.
Hopefully, her and Taskmaster can do this weird thing where they get lines where they speak.
And maybe redeem themselves.
Hey, fuck, while we're at it, maybe they can get personalities.
Oh my god. Do you think we're going to get a Giant Man cameo in this?
From who was Giant?
From Lawrence Fishburne.
I thought he died.
Did he die in Ant-Man 2? Oh, you're right, he did. Yeah. Okay, well, then never mind.
Yeah, it'd be, hopefully not then, it'd be fucking creepy.
Well, I mean...
No, they're gonna set us up for Marvel Zombies.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to talk about that off mic. We said we weren't gonna do any spoilers, so...
Oh, yeah. So... Yeah, Thunderbolts is interesting. They're still doing Sentry as like the main threat.
And they did recast him, but I can't...
They did.
It wasn't like... I don't think it was anybody that I really knew.
It was Stephen Yeun.
It was originally, but they did recast him.
They did, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Sentry, because I'm not super familiar with Sentry's power set.
Yeah, so Sentry was actually one of the greatest acts of gaslighting ever done by Marvel. And I mean that in a positive way. They wrote Sentry like... for both the comic book characters and for the audience reading, that he had existed for years, but people forgot about him. And in so much that they even made old school comic books of this character that really gaslit the fuck out of a lot of people. But essentially, what he is that they find him on the raft, the prison raft, and he's just this normal guy who's kind of paranoid and crazy and whatnot. They don't really know what his deal is. He transforms into this Superman-esque entity called the Sentry, super powerful, and I mean he immediately goes to work. What they find out eventually is Iron Man goes to kind of do recon on him to see what he's all about, and because he's by far the most powerful person that they've encountered.
Right.
And come to find out, his real name is Robert Reynolds, and he retconned the universe with his powers, saying that the Sentry was just a comic book character that he created, and he felt that there is a dark entity. So every time he does something good, there's this entity called the Void that does something equally bad. So if he saves 1,000 people, he feels that the Void, which is this dark entity within him, will do something equally horrendous. And so he felt that destroyed his family. And he hid his identity in the form of a comic book, and he put himself in this raft, in this prison raft, which no one knew why he got there. And so essentially, he is like a very mentally unstable version of Superman. He's got the power of 1,000 exploding suns, as he says. He's beaten the shit out of Thor, gone toe to toe with World Breaker Hulk.
Oh God, okay.
Yeah, I mean he's extremely powerful, which is again why I wonder who the fuck in the Thunderbolts
is going to fight him.
Yeah, so they're gonna have to talk him down, right? They're gonna have to play on like his mental instability, and you know, for the longest time, even as an audience reader, you didn't know if the Void was something real or something in his mind. Spoiler alert, it was very real.
Oh no.
Yeah, so very cool character. Very interested to see what they do with him in the MCU. And that's Robert Reynolds. He looks like a normal guy, but it's the Sentry. Looks like fucking Henry Cavill with a blonde wig on. You know?
Yeah, that'll be interesting for sure to see kind of where they go with that.
I also don't think he'd be a one and done. Well, I said that by Adam Warlock as well. So
Adam Warlock's still out there, isn't he?
He's still out there, but who wants to see him again?
Yeah, he was.
The only bad part about that movie, really.
Yeah, they blue balls us forever, and then like every time Adam Warlock is on screen, it's just the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going from Thunderbolts, and is the next movie after that Fantastic Four?
Yeah, gotta be.
So next year we're gonna get Brave New World and Thunderbolts.
Yep.
And then the year after that, so that'll be 2025. 2026,
we get Fantastic
Four and
Doomsday.
Avengers Doomsday. That's right, folks. We have confirmation at SDCC that the fifth Avengers movie is no longer going to be called Kang Dynasty, thankfully. It is now going to be called Avengers Doomsday, and it is going to be directed by none other than the Russo brothers. Returning, these are the two absolute, in my opinion, the MVP of MCU directors. They did Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. And we did find out that one of the writers is going to be returning. Those movies that I just mentioned were all written by Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely. Stephen McFeely will be returning Christopher Marcus. Apparently not so.
Yes, that is his real name.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Yeah.
It's hard to not be excited about that, right?
Yeah.
You know. Whereas I think that the fates for Cap 4, Thunderbolts, and Fantastic Four, I think that those fates are already sealed. Those movies are going to be whatever they're going to be.
Right.
But the upcoming Avenger films, both Doomsday and Secret Wars, those have a very good chance of being something much better.
I agree. I do think, though, that we should probably and I hate to say this because of how I worded out last time, but it's like, to me, it should almost play out like a trilogy, right? Like, kind of like Fantastic Four needs to be the prequel to this, because there are a lot of things they can pull from. Obviously, like, there's a ton, like, Doctor Strange and Spider-Man have the most, right, that they can pull from, because they've been the highlights of Phase 4 and 5 for sure. Well, I guess just 4, because Phase 5 is just Ant-Man and after that. So, if somebody wants a highlight from Phase 5, they don't have to create one.
Right.
So there's a lot that they can do with those two characters.
Yeah.
There is still a lot they could do with Thor.
Right. He's in limbo right now.
Yeah, I mean, so they've got options, but honestly, like, you know, if you want to really make an impact with these movies, yeah, I mean, you got the nostalgia plays you can go off of. You can play with Hugh. You can play with Toby, Andrew Garfield if you want.
Yeah.
I hope they kind of stay away from the rest of the X-Men for now.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
So you want them to avoid using any other X-Men for the time being?
I mean, I'd be okay with them using, like, the way I see it is if you're going to pick a Fox nostalgia version, like if they're going to have Fassbender Magneto in there or whatever, then you don't Magneto in the first X-Men thing that you do.
I got you.
I think, you know, if you're going to do the nostalgia hit now, then when you come out with your X-Men property, you got to use characters that you're not using right now.
That's fair. And not to railroad us, but going back to safe picks, listen, worst case scenario, Marvel can just hire McAvoy and Fassbender again.
That's true. I mean, they're not that old.
Yeah. And, like, they're at the point now where they can just age into the roles.
Yeah, I mean,
you know.
They're tremendous.
Yeah.
You know, you did. If you'd have told me back during first class that McAvoy was going to be the better actor, I'd have been like, nah. Nah, like, Fassbender's killing it, bro. But nah, I mean, James McAvoy is, like, ridiculously talented.
Oh, yeah.
As we found out later. But,
I mean, they both are, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm not trying to say, like, Fassbender's not incredible. But, you know, the thing is, you couldn't tell any of that if you watched Dark Phoenix. Neither of them wanted to be there.
Hey, look, you know.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with them, to be honest. But, yeah, I'd be okay with it, you know, just to bring them back for the nostalgia play or whatever, or you know, like we saw Thursday, like, give them something to actually do. There's, as we've seen, there's quite a few characters that they could play on for those. So, you know, we've got Doomsday coming out, and then is there anything announced between Doomsday and Secret Wars? They're going to be 1 year apart.
If there is, they didn't specify.
Yeah.
Blade is going to be
question mark. Yeah, we are supposedly going to get a Blade movie in Phase 6. I'm seriously doubting that that's going to happen.
I'm almost to the point where I feel like I'm cool if you don't do it.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, to me, it's kind of like go ahead and push that shit to Phase 7.
Mm-hmm.
Come out swinging with X-Men, Blade, you know, whatever. You know, Fantastic Four 2.
Right. Have your shit together. I don't know what their original plans were for Blade when they announced it, almost 4 years ago?
Yeah, because, I mean, the awful post-credits at the end of Eternals.
Oh, yeah, that was rough. That was rough.
How do you fuck up a teaser like that?
Yeah. How do you fuck up Blade, like, as a post-credit tease? That was rough. I mean, we had to go home and Google who that was.
Yeah, and that was us.
Yeah.
You know? Some motherfuckers always trying to skate uphill.
He didn't say, if he just said that, we would have known.
We would have known who it was, yeah. Yeah. But, here we are.
So, looking here at Fantastic Four, I do agree with what you said. In lieu of the information we got, they're going Fantastic Four, Avengers Doomsday, and then Avengers Secret Wars. That does feel like a trilogy setup to me, too.
Yeah.
And I have the least faith in Fantastic Four, if I'm being honest.
Oh, for sure. Because the others are basically known entities.
Yeah. Known entities, And Fantastic Four, man, they just have a track record of not being good movies.
It's never been pulled off successfully.
Yeah.
And I do think that the family aspect that they're going to try to pull off in this, I think that's the right way to go.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see, it's hard to do.
Yeah.
It's really hard to do. Nobody's been able to pull it off yet, and I really hope that they're about to.
I hope so. I swear to God, if they announce their main villain as somebody like fucking Mole Man, I'm gonna be so upset. I mean, a villain they could use that would make a lot of sense is not Mole Man, but Molecule Man.
Yeah.
He is a villain who, I believe, he was created by Stan and Jack. They didn't know what the fuck they created when they made him, because apparently being able to control the molecules and everything is actually OP as fuck. And so he is actually now just like an entity in Marvel and less of a person. And I mean, so he is definitely a way that they can use to kind of help open up the multiverse some if they need to.
Right. I mean, I'm definitely interested in, whatever direction they go with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just got to be good,
Yeah.
And the way they're going to get there, ladies and gentlemen, is by following rule number 1.
Yes.
Maintaining the integrity of the characters.
Yes.
And then, as we saw very recently, if you want to stick with rule 1 and then go straight to rule of cool after that, we're fine with it.
Yeah, it can work.
Yeah. Not saying it's always going to work, but
yeah, it can.
I have a hard time thinking about a movie that follows those 2 rules and me leaving the theater pissed off.
Yeah.
The worst you're going to get is me being like, it was all right.
Right. Remember when we reviewed, me, you, and Oz reviewed Blade 1 last year, and it had those 2 things.
It had those 2 things. Yep, sure did. Yeah.
And that was in 1998.
Yeah.
So, let's go ahead and talk about the man of the hour.
Ooh, because, what's interesting is, I mean, obviously, if you obviously have internet if you listen to this, so you probably know by now the biggest bombshell announcement probably in a while in the comic book world, probably the biggest thing since James Gunn took over the DC universe. Robert Downey Jr. is going to return to the MCU, but this time he will be playing Dr. Doom. Now, what's interesting is I have heard a few instances where they have directly said that he will be playing Victor Von Doom. And I think that is an interesting thing, right? Because a lot of people kind of just assumed that this would be a Tony Stark variant that will be playing Dr. Doom. The other big question mark is that they've literally only confirmed that he's going to be in Doomsday.
Yeah.
Now, there's 2 reasons that they would do that. Number 1, he's actually going to be in Fantastic Four, and they want that to be a surprise. And then you would assume he would also be in Secret Wars.
Right.
Because they didn't come out and be like, oh, well, Thanos is going to be here, and he's going to be in this movie, this movie, and this movie, and this movie.
Yeah.
You're
right. They didn't say, we're going to use Thanos for Infinity War.
Right.
And then not mention him for Endgame.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even have the title for Endgame until after Infinity War came out.
Right.
So, going into Infinity War, we didn't know that Thanos was going to go on to be the villain in the next thing. So,
by the time we finished it, we kind of had an idea.
Yeah. By the time the movie ran, we were like, oh, this isn't ending here.
Right.
Because, we actually didn't truly know that Endgame was going to be a direct sequel like it was. Because
that's true.
Because originally they were like, oh, it's going to be Infinity War Part 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then they said, we're not going to do that.
Right.
And then they were like, they changed Avengers 4 to be untitled.
Yep.
And we were like, the fuck?
Right.
And then after we watched Infinity War, and then we found out it's going to be called Endgame. So, yeah, I mean, it's entirely possible that Doom is going to have a huge presence in Secret Wars as well. I really don't want him to even be done then. You know?
Yeah, me too.
Like, he could be defeated, but he's not dead. We can't
Right.
kill Robert Downey Jr. at the end of every big major phase. You can't kill him at the end of every saga.
Oh, shit. I want to talk about the reveal, first of all. The reveal, regardless of how you feel about the casting and the direction, the reveal was excellently done.
Fucking sick.
Yeah.
And the reaction, the reaction online is one thing, but the reaction in that room was very solid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, but it's always going to be solid. Like, they could have said, and our next casting for whoever.
For Dr. Doom, Daisy Ridley!
Yeah.
Everybody.
Well, not everything. All right, fine.
People would have been throwing stuff at the stage, throwing packs of dick and nips.
Open packs of dick and nips. In that cold ass room. It's going to be hard as hell. You might have heard this, but right before RDJ unveiled himself, they were like, and there's only one person who can play Doom. There was some asshole in the audience. They screamed out, fucking Jared Leto!
Oh, no.
Yeah, I heard that shit, and I was like, fucking really?
Oh, no.
Yeah. But it was a tremendous reveal. Pulling off the mask, wearing the green suit,
It was
standing there, in almost like a Tony Stark Christ T-pose,
Yeah. The reaction on the internet is decidedly mixed on this.
I understand why.
I understand why, too. Here's the thing about everything we're talking about right now, including this casting. I think, obviously people want Secret Wars. Obviously, I think a lot of people are very positive about the Russos coming back in.
Yep.
But what you have to look at, do I think the RDJ casting is desperate? Absolutely, right? It is a desperation play. They tried other things. So, this isn't to the thing where they just were like, okay, we're just going to keep turning out the same shit.
Yeah.
They did try other things. The problem with those things was the execution of them.
Right.
It wasn't the ideas, right? Because when Kevin Feige stood up there and was like, this is what Phase 4 is going to look like, and then he was like, and this is what Phase 5 is going to look like, we were all like, we can only get so erect, Kevin.
Right.
And the execution was the problem. We were hyped about the actual stuff. I mean, we all thought that Quantumania was going to be the Winter Soldier for Ant-Man.
Right.
That it was going to be what elevated and redefined that character in the MCU. Instead, it's the worst one.
Yeah.
So,
come to find out, they just had names as placeholders for these movies. They didn't have any idea what they were going to be.
Right. And they had no plan for the overall arc.
Yeah.
So, that's where we've ended up. So, so they're going back to the well.
Yep.
I understand why. It's not, they didn't try to do something else. They did try something else. Mm-hmm. And then they were like, well, we need to get the paddles out and shock this thing back to life. I think they've done it because whether you disagree with the RDJ casting or not, if you look at the success of Deadpool and Wolverine, the fact that while we're having all these discussions, it is literally printing fucking cash, which is something that the MCU hasn't done in a minute. Yeah. Last time it did was No Way Home, and they had to split that money.
They had to split that with somebody.
Yeah. So, doesn't count, not as much, But, it's printing cash, hugely positive review at SDCC, and everyone is talking about this.
Yeah.
Everyone. I think there's a lot of casuals that are going to say, oh, RDJ is back, I'm back. Mm-hmm. This is a way for them to pull back in, people who were jumped off at Endgame or whatever. But the important thing to remember is that you ran those people away.
Yeah.
We didn't fucking do it.
Right.
You guys ran those people away. They left because of your actions. And so, if you feel like you got to pull this desperation move to get them back, I understand. But it's not going to matter at all if you didn't learn nothing. from all these mistakes that you have made.
Right.
So if, the idea is, oh, well, we're just going to drop this back in the lap of the Russos and they'll fix everything. Nah, because even if they were to pull that off, even if they cobble together two tremendous Avengers movies, and I'm not saying they won't, and we love them, what you going to do in Phase 7? Because right after that, you are going to have to build all new things.
I hope that they've learned their lesson over the past 5 years and take that knowledge that they've learned and know that, okay, after Secret Wars, we have to have more concrete ideas, and they've got to go right into the mutants, right?
They've got to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be the mutant saga next.
So,
and there's so much that they have to do with that. Like, you'd have to try to fuck it up.
Right.
Nobody ever fucked up any movies with mutants in it before.
Just stay away from anything related to the Phoenix.
Yep.
And you should be fine.
Yeah, no Phoenix.
Yep.
And I'll be honest, really no Juggernaut either. Just being honest with you.
No Jugs?
Well, it's just that I feel like with that, I feel like they've done just about everything you can do with him.
I think it's going to be hard to top Juggernaut from Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
He was just so well done there.
Agreed.
Man, I think a lot of this also, and this may sound like a small thing, I promise you it's not. I think that a large part of this success is going to have to deal with what's the chemistry going to be like between Pedro Pascal and RDJ.
I am excited to see that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have brought this up too. Robert Downey Jr. just won a fucking Oscar for playing a guy who's insanely jealous of a brilliant scientist.
Yeah.
Like, the writing's on the wall. Yeah. I mean, it's and nobody's looking at this from he can't pull it off.
Right.
Yeah. Of course he can pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
They are two of the most prolific actors that are out right now. I think the two of them's chemistry is going to be incredible. I can see them being friends.
Yeah.
And I can see them being enemies.
Right.
And while I am excited for the RDJ casting. I know I understand why a lot of people have their reservations about it, but I do feel like the moment, and if they don't fucking do this, I'm being so mad, but you cast RDJ for the moment that Spider-Man knocks that mask off. Because there is no reason to do it if you aren't going to do that.
Man, yeah, that would that would suck for Peter, right?
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, you guys got to remember, that would make Peter freak out, and no one would know why.
Yeah.
No one remembers that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. No one even know how they even know who Peter Parker is. Why would they?
Yeah, because he made them forget Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. That moment's got to be huge. The thing that I'm curious about, but really I'm not looking forward to, honestly, is them explaining the whole with this. So this is going to be a variant. Why does this universe Doom look like another universe's Iron Man?
Right.
Are they variants of the same person? Are they so what's going on? And they're gonna have to address that.
And apparently there is a what if episode where this happened, where Tony Stark became Dr. Doom.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, those two have had quite the adventures within against each other.
Yeah.
Ironically, so have Kang and Doom.
Right.
And the interesting dynamic between Iron Man and Dr. Doom is that Doom typically has a leg up because not only is he a man of technology, he's also a man of science.
Right.
So, I mean, also a man of magic. I'm going to say technology and magic. So it's going to be interesting seeing what they do with Doom. You know, uh, what universe is Doomsday going to be set in?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough, right? Because you would think that at the end of Doomsday, they've got to be pulled into the war world, right, or whatever it's called. You know. So.
Oh, what about this? At the end of Doomsday, Reed Richards just beats the dog shit out of Doom with his bare hands in a straight up boxing match, and then they kill off Doom, and then they just bring back a different one for Secret Wars.
Like a different Doom?
I mean, that's what they did with Kane, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got his ass beat by Ant-Man at the end of Ant-Man 3. And then, they're just going to bring back a different version of Kane.
I don't think they're going to go with any of the Kang.
No, none of the Kane plans.
I thought you were being serious there for a minute. I was like really following you. I was like, and then I was like, no. No. No, I could actually see something happening, though, where, like, obviously they can't use any of the gems or whatever. But
not our universe, but
that's true. Did they establish the whole they only work in their universe shit?
It's a good question.
Well, no, they can't.
Loki, season 1, that was kind of.
Well, it was that they didn't work at the TVA.
That's true.
But we know that they work across multiverses because of Ultron, right? Didn't he get those from different multiverses?
And you mean in What If?
Oh, wait, no, he didn't. He just fucking killed Thanos and took them all.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're not 100% on that, to be honest.
Yeah, they've never explicitly said that's how it works in the MCU.
Yeah, I don't think that I think it is not smart to involve the gems or the gauntlet in any way.
Yeah, I would probably just have it so that they don't even exist in that universe.
Yeah.
Or the TVA just took them already.
But I mean, yeah, you can always just do, a MacGuffin of whatever kind. But maybe it looks like the Fantastic Four wins, and then Doom is able to alter reality in some way, or however they want to do it.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Doomsday, because as it stands, Doomsday is the movie I'm most curious about because I have an idea of what they could do for Fantastic Four. I have an idea for what they could do for Secret Wars.
Yeah.
There's basis, for those. Doomsday, I don't even know.
Yeah.
So, do you think we're going to get a moment in Secret Wars where we get a version of Tony Stark fighting Doom?
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's more likely that we would get like Superior Iron Man and do the Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Because I think that by the time we get to Secret Wars, people will want to see RDJ as Iron Man one more time.
Yeah, maybe so.
And
you don't think Riri Williams will be carrying the match?
Yeah. I feel like we talked about this earlier. About how sometimes it's hard to carry a mantle.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing too is how is Rhodey going to react to this shit?
Oh man, yeah.
So
yeah, you got to wonder how characters in the MCU 616 will react to seeing, and I mean again, they got to work to get that mask off him first of all, and also is he going to be hideously scarred?
Right.
Would they be able to immediately recognize him?
Yeah. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be definitely interesting. I mean, you can totally see how, after it's all said and done, or maybe they do this in Doomsday, if you were to come to 616 with Tony Stark's face, he would have an immense amount of influence. Mm-hmm. That's a face that the whole world trusts.
Yeah.
And it would definitely allow, a lot of leeway with how much bullshit Doom could get away with before the public is just nah.
Yeah. You know, I'll be honest here, and this isn't to take away from, the RDJ casting. Again, it's not what I would have done, but I'm curious to see where we go with it. And like you said, he's going to kill it. From a story standpoint, though, I just hope that it's cohesive and that they can make it make sense. Uh, but me personally, before this RDJ casting, my hopes were for Cillian Murphy.
Yeah. I think a lot of people really wanted that, and I am among those people. I think the concern there, we obviously don't know if they even approached Cillian or not.
Yeah.
But I do think that he would probably have some hesitation about signing on for as much, because we don't know about the contract. It's possible RDJ is in for 6 movies or something.
Could be. I don't know if he would do that anymore, though. For that kind of move, those amount of movies.
I kind of get the feeling from him that he's like, I got my fucking Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm validated. Because to me, listening to his interviews and stuff, it's like, I felt like he needed to prove that he is a top tier actor to himself.
More than Iron Man.
He's more than Iron Man, and I feel like he's done that now.
Yeah.
So, I really hope that we don't only get Doom for a quick post credits tease and then these 2 movies.
That's the only good thing to come from the multiverse saga is we can snag another one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But even then, you got to be careful with how you do that.
Well, are they going to collapse the multiverse as part of Secret Wars? Is it going to be like, hey, well, there's just this one now?
Yeah.
All the sacred timeline, or the sacred timeline is the only one. All the others got wiped the fuck out or whatever.
No one's even talked about the Beyonder yet.
Nope.
And that motherfucker's got to show up. I think it is entirely possible that we see the Beyonder before Secret Wars and just not know it.
I know how Loki season 2 ends, and I have this odd feeling that either they're going to make him the Beyonder, which I hope they're not going to do, but I do think they're going to have him working for the Beyonder.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So.
Yeah, Loki Yonder is where I draw the line. Yeah, that just seems like an awful idea.
I agree. Plus, there's not a whole lot. How many more times can you kill him? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I'm not saying he can never show up again.
Right.
But it's just limited use, Mm-hmm. And we gotta. They gotta get some new blood in here, right? They gotta get Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Has to be good enough to where it can people want to come. People will come back to see those characters.
Right.
Because the odds are that after Secret Wars, probably all the original Avengers are gone, right? After that, maybe Hawkeye's still around.
Yeah.
They gotta get rid of Thor.
They might.
I swear to God, though, if that fucking scene doesn't happen in Secret Wars.
With Tony or... with
Deadpool and Thor.
Oh.
They have to do it, right? It has to happen.
Yeah.
Deadpool, let's talk about that. Deadpool has to be in one of those, right? If not both.
He's sure going to be in Secret Wars.
Yeah, he got to be.
Yeah.
They got to do the scene.
Yeah. And for those of you, you'll find out what we're talking about. Yeah.
Well, we've talked about this on the podcast. It's not I'm not talking about the Thor scene. I'm talking he's got to be in Secret Wars so they can do the symbiote scene.
Oh, yeah, that scene. Yeah.
If you're going to do it and you got Deadpool, you have to do it.
Right. I agree.
I think the symbiote is going to come into play after that movie. That's the thing. Will we get a Spider-Man 4 in between the two?
In between? I think we could.
Yeah. Cause
I think we should, because by that point it'll be, 5 years since No Way Home?
Sony is not going to want to wait to 2028 to put out another Spider-Man.
Right. Give us our shit back.
Yeah.
We don't want that happening.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So that might be the good move. That might be the move.
That's a fucking lineup, dude.
It is.
Fantastic Four, Doomsday, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Secret Wars.
Yeah. Man. And who knows? Brave New World and Thunderbolts, they could be bangers.
Yeah.
You know? No one quote me on that, alright? Unless they're bangers, and then quote me on that.
Yeah, I mean, we are. Here's the thing: is like, I haven't seen anything about either of them that makes me go, "There's no way this could be good."
Yeah.
We want it to be good.
Yes.
We wanted Black Widow to be good.
Same thing with Quantumania.
We wanted, yeah. We went in there with all the hype for that.
Oh yeah.
We gonna see Kang, motherfuckers.
Gore the God Butcher's probably my favorite Thor story.
See how that shit went.
We see how that went. So yeah, we gonna see. I'll go ahead and put this out there, before we wrap things up here. I think that in Secret Wars, I think we're gonna get another T'Challa.
Do you think it's gonna be the kid?
No, fuck that kid. I think we get another T'Challa.
Like just a different variant T'Challa?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't give a fat baby's ass about Baby Chala or whatever his name is. Fucking.
Well, so you don't think that that Shuri will return as Cap? Or as Cap? Yeah, that's the new Cap.
Variant.
Yeah, that she'll return as Black Panther.
I think she could, but I don't think that she will be the only Black Panther.
You think we're gonna get Namor in Secret Wars?
My immediate thought, no, there ain't no water there.
He can survive out of the water for a while.
Yeah, he can. No, like Magneto Light can stay where he is for now.
Oh no. They've got to send either Bucky or Falcon over, right?
Falcon, I'd imagine. Yeah. Hell, the funny thing is, technically Iron Man was in Secret Wars, but it was Rhodey wearing the Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
So.
I feel like, maybe it's just me, man, but I feel like Rhodey is super underutilized right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, I won't say because you haven't seen Secret Invasion. He is in Secret Invasion. But yeah, other than that, it's been forever since we've seen him.
In Endgame. Well, no, Falcon and Winter Soldier. He's in like one episode of that.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's just like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird, right? I almost would have moved him into sort of like almost like a Nick Fury or Agent Coulson type role. Just like a much more militarized version of that,
You think he would be in Cap 4? That would make sense too.
Yeah.
The vibe of it.
Yeah, I wonder if they're keeping a lid on that. That
Yeah.
he is in it, and they're just keeping it under wraps.
He's got a version of the Hulkbuster suit.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
That would be.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I'll be down for that. A Sam and Rhodey versus Red Hulk.
Yeah.
No. He has a version of the Hulkbuster suit. That's what Sidewinder is after.
Oh, fuck.
Like, Sidewinder's trying to assassinate the president. Finds out he's the Red Hulk.
Yeah.
And, like, there is a version of the Hulkbuster out there, and, like, that's what he's trying to get.
That's what he wants.
That'd be fucking nuts.
Damn.
Can you imagine Giancarlo in the suit, bro?
Oh, fuck.
I mean, he wouldn't have to do any stunts.
That's true. Hopefully it looks better than Paul Giamatti as Rhino.
This is a low bar. I think the horse from the Venom trailer looks better than that. That was a weird choice, right?
That was the money shot, though. They're like, we're about to kill him with this part. Hit him with the symbiote horse.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Womp womp.
I kind of wish Deadpool and Wolverine came out at the end of the year.
So they could pick on that?
Just so we can end the year on a high note.
Oh, yeah, that's
for
true.
superhero movies, Yeah.
Well, next year we got the DCU really kicking off.
Yeah. Because Superman Legacy does come out
next year.
Yeah,
and I believe we're getting that and Peacemaker next
year.
Yeah. And then the year after that, we're getting Brave and the Bold.
Yeah.
And Swamp Thing, is that?
Oh, I don't remember. That would be cool though.
I gotta look.
And yeah, I think that hopefully next year at San Diego Comic-Con, James Gunn can put his giant dick on the table like Kevin Feige did this year.
Yeah, that's what everybody was hoping. So we're getting Superman Legacy, Peacemaker Season 2. The next year, which is 2026, we're getting Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. We're getting Lanterns HBO show. Right. And then The Authority.
Oh, yeah. These guys right here.
And also Paradise Lost, which is going to be a Wonder Woman.
That's where you got Paradise Lost from.
Yeah, it is, yeah. And then 2027. Oh, Brave and the Bold is not to 2027.
Okay.
And we might get Avengers before we get that.
Yeah.
We might get Doomsday before we get that.
That makes sense because the Batman is supposed to come out somewhere in there.
Yeah, we're getting Booster Gold that year as well.
Yeah. Have you seen like the rumor casting for Booster Gold?
No, who is it?
I forget his name. He was in the Eternals.
Brian Tyree Henry? I'm up for the fuck yeah.
Is it Kumail Nanjiani? Is that?
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, he would be great.
I think he'd be good.
He would be incredible in that role.
Yeah.
That's so him.
It is him, right?
Yeah, like, you know, in another universe where he's not Deadpool, fucking Ryan Reynolds can pull it off.
Yeah. I still think that Chris Pratt could do an excellent job as Booster Gold.
I do too. Yeah. It's almost too on the nose.
It is. It's very on the nose.
Yeah.
He'd kill it.
But I mean, I'd rather that than they keep casting him as beloved animated characters.
Who has been now?
Well, he was definitely Mario.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was Mario.
They shit the bed with him as Garfield.
Yeah, and he was Garfield.
Yeah.
Oof. Well, I mean, you know, he's Star-Lord.
This is like way out of left field, but I kind of want to see that Transformers 1 movie.
Yeah. The one with Brian Tyree Henry and Hemsworth.
Yeah. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it does look like it has like a kid tone to it to an extent, but I mean, it always did, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, before the Michael Bay movies, you know. But Cybertron, like, backstory, I'm down. As long as they don't, like, do anything dumb in it, you know.
I mean, I'm not going to write it off. Like, honestly, my expectations for the movie are so low, they can only exceed it.
Yeah.
So, I will probably enjoy that movie way more than I think I will.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be better than either of the last two Michael Bay Transformers.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, what was that like?
The Last Night and the one with the fucking dinosaurs.
He did that one too?
Yeah, I thought he did.
Okay. Did you see that one?
No.
Okay.
I checked out after 4, which was atrocious. Like, 4 was super awful. I couldn't do anything after that. I haven't even seen the Bumblebee movie, which is apparently pretty good.
I heard that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Haley Steinfeld and John Cena.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if, like, Cena's going to bulk back up for Peacemaker. Or are they just going to pad his suit? Because he has lost a ton of weight.
He has, right? So, here's the interesting thing. He has lost a ton of weight, but that's when he's standing in there with other wrestlers.
That's true.
Next to the average person, he still probably looks enormous.
They can always pad the suit.
But, yeah, the suit is also sleeveless, though.
Like,
It's high sleeves.
That's true.
I think he'll probably bulk up a little bit for it again. Yeah.
This has no merit whatsoever, but Henry Cavill is in amazing shape. That's a random statement. It means nothing. It's not in relation to anything.
Yeah, I concur.
He's like, I think he might be bigger than The Rock now.
No.
He's close. Like his like traps,
yeah,
I think are bigger than The Rock's traps. His biceps are not.
Yeah,
but like his like triceps and his traps are. I think they're up there with The Rock.
might be whatever cocktail The Rock has that he's taken. That shit is.
It's called steroids.
Well, I meant whatever cocktail of steroids. It's not just one.
No, yeah.
You know,
probably some testosterone.
Oh yeah, he's got everything in that cocktail. I mean, all the designer steroids, you name them.
He just got an IV of like protein. He just walks around his house and just getting protein directly pumped into his blood.
Oh shit. Man, we do have anything else before we wrap up?
No, we've been talking about this for like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about all the things. It's hard not to be hyped right now.
It is. Are you surprised they didn't say anything about the Daredevil TV show, Born Again?
It is odd that we didn't get anything on Born Again.
I thought we would have got maybe a little bit of footage, honestly.
It's odd that we didn't get anything about Blade.
Yeah.
We got also, we got to think, how does Born Again play into Doomsday and Secret Wars?
Yeah.
Obviously, like, they want Matt Murdock in those movies.
Right.
I mean, so we'll see. We'll see where everything kind of goes as far as like what direction the MCU goes in. A lot of people right now are like, the MCU is back on all cylinders, and I'm like, the hype train is definitely back on all cylinders.
Yes.
But you got to show me something to tell me that the MCU is back on all cylinders, because one big tentpole is not it.
No.
They've been doing that.
Yep.
We had WandaVision, we had Strange 2, we had No Way Home, we had Far From Home. Mm-hmm. All of those have come out since Endgame.
Yeah.
Yep. It's not that they haven't been putting out hit bangers, it's that everything in between them.
Right. Everything between them has been, at best, mid.
Yeah.
And also, none of it really feels that connected.
Right.
The universe doesn't feel as shared as it once did.
Correct.
And that's the thing, right? Like, at minimum, you got to get one of the two. For example, with the first 3 phases, people will put up with the mid-movie as long as they feel like it was still part of this huge universe.
Correct.
Or maybe you had a standalone movie that didn't really tie in that much, but it was incredible.
Right. I mean, because Guardians was incredibly standalone at first.
Yeah. Agreed. So, you got to do at least one of the two. Either make it feel like it's part of this huge universe, or make it incredible. Preferably both.
Yeah.
But you got to at least do one or the other.
Yeah. Winter Soldier did both.
Yeah.
And that was a big part of that. Doctor Strange did a good job with that. In the first 3, it's not to say that there weren't problems in the first 3 phases. Like, nobody goes, oh, Ant-Man 2 was amazing.
Right.
We hate Captain Marvel. Dark World gets hated on, I think, very unjustly hated on.
Dark World is the equivalent of Falcon and Winter Soldier in the sense that it's not great, but man, we adjusted too harshly compared to what came after it.
Yeah, we'd be jizzing our balls to get a Dark World level movie right now. If Thunderbolts is as good as Thor: The Dark World, I would be so pleased walking out of there.
I think a lot of people just don't remember the Dark World. Like, I didn't love it, but I didn't think it was the most offensive thing to my eyes.
I really enjoyed that movie though, because first off, it was directed by Alan Taylor.
Oh yeah,
and it's very very telling, because I'm about to go watch The House of the Dragon right now. But he's big in the Game of Thrones and stuff, and you can tell. And I loved the way they shot Asgard. I loved Heimdall's role in that story. Obviously Eccleston got fucked on screen time and such. But I actually really like the Dark World other than that. But yeah, we had Iron Man 3 in phase 2.
Yeah, we did. That's how we kicked off phase
2. We had Ragnarok, for better or worse. We had Guardians 2, which was not great.
Yeah. Yeah, there were several movies that just didn't hit, but the interconnectivity was there.
Right.
And then they were also typically surrounded by other movies that were really good.
Yeah, and they lost the secret sauce. Things just aren't feeling things don't feel connected anymore, and they really have to get that back in line with these next several movies.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. Doctor Strange 2 came out at this point 2 years ago.
Yeah.
If this were peak MCU, we would have seen some fallout from the end of that movie.
Yeah, but nothing.
At this point,
we're just now getting Eternals, and a literal fucking Celestial came up out of the planet, and no one's mentioned it.
Not a peep.
It's crazy, man, just to think about that. And, like, you could tell with so many of these, like, you know, we used to get these really memorable after-credit scenes.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get those anymore because there's no plan. So it's just like, you know, at the end of, like, Shang-Chi, for example, you know, they have the whole thing about the rings, which I really liked. Yep. This is probably the only after-credit scene, other than the Deadpool and Wolverine one, from these phases that I really remember. And then they're like, oh, well, you know, Banner and Captain Marvel should be there.
Yeah.
Why? Well, we don't know. But
yeah.
It's like you didn't have a plan. You just came up with something to put there because you have to put something there.
You got to put something there. And again, just like Doctor Strange 2, no fallout from that yet. No nothing.
Yeah.
And again, peak MCU, they would have followed up on those ending events by now.
Yeah, and like, what the fuck is Shang-Chi doing? Is he out fighting crime?
We don't know.
You know?
We don't know.
Yeah, that movie came out in what, 2021?
Yeah.
So, like, if the next time we see him is Doomsday, that's going to be like 5 years.
So they did. Oh, no, I was going to say they did say something about Shang-Chi 2, didn't they? But maybe they didn't.
Well, originally, yeah, Shang-Chi 2, and then the writer or the director for Shang-Chi was supposed to do Secret Wars originally.
Yeah, that's right.
And then, like, backed out. So who knows, man, if they're even going to do that Shang-Chi 2.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the few movies from Phase 4 where they could justify a sequel and do well with it.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, a lot of people really love that movie.
I agree. Yeah, like, give them, you know, something more to do and make the movie feel more connected and shared.
Yeah.
I think that could be great.
Team them up with Rhodey.
I mean, honestly, like, and your gut reaction is going to be, you're not going to like this, but I think that the move is introduce Iron Fist in the sequel. Iron Fist, I mean, the TV show is ass, but Iron Fist is so much cooler than that TV show made him out to be.
Oh, yeah, no. I'm all up for them introducing an Iron Fist character, just not the one that we got.
Yeah. One more question, then I'll let you get out of here. But going back to Tiamat, the frozen aborted celestial.
Yeah.
He is, in fact, or at least to some degree, he has adamantium connected to him.
Yeah.
So are we just now getting adamantium in the MCU?
That's what I think, is we're just now getting adamantium.
So what is that? We gotta get another Wolverine.
Yeah, for right now, our Wolverine is going to be the Fox Wolverine.
Right. But I think we get Hugh for one more movie.
I think we're going to get Hugh for, I would wager at least 2 more. I think at minimum they're going to put him in both of those Avengers movies.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think we get him in Secret Wars. Because as it stands, Deadpool and Wolverine, they are technically in the MCU, but they are not in the same universe.
Right.
Secret Wars is the perfect opportunity to bring them from where they are to...
Agreed.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing, too, is I'm not sure how it works, but I know that they can't do a standalone Hulk movie.
Right.
But can Hulk be in the title? Can they do Hulk versus Wolverine as a movie?
I can only get Sawyer ready.
I mean, they teased that shit hard.
They did. You know. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. The things I would do for that movie.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you just gotta blow Kevin Feige, so. That'll probably do it. He can make it happen.
I think that's what Brie Larson had to have done, right?
Right. Yeah.
There's no other explanation for how we got this string of excellent casting, and then
yeah, because he had to have peered over and been like, she's gonna need a butt double.
Fucking hell. Okay, well, on that
note,
I think we should go ahead and skedaddle. This has been great, though.
Yeah, go ahead and grab some digging nips from the fridge.
That's right.
Go home and turn on House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do. This episode, I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, is going to be a tearjerker, probably. If not this one, then the next one.
You think? Oh, man, I hope not. I hope they don't kill Christian Cole. That would break my heart.
Oh, no. That could be... They can brutally murder that motherfucker. That could be the whole episode, is them like torturing him to death. And we're going to have to review that soon, because it's going to end next week.
Yeah. You're right. So
yeah, we have so much coming up.
Yeah, we have the best kind of problems right now, in the sense that we got too much shit to review.
I'll take it over those years where you were like, hey, man, you got any ideas for what we could do? Like, where we just had, like, the drought of content.
Yeah, I remember 2020 and 2021. I remember sitting down and watching Batwoman for the podcast.
I bet you fucking did. We're gonna have a Miss Morin review coming up.
Yes.
Yes. For several things. We're gonna House of the Dragon, Acolyte. I mean, you name it. So
yeah, a lot of shit coming.
And our ultimate MCU ranking.
Ooh, man, yeah, that's gonna be fun, and that's probably gonna be at least 2 episodes.
Yeah, because we're gonna be in here for a long time.
Yeah,
hashing that shit out.
Right. Yeah, we're gonna be looking like old buddy from It's Always Sunny, looking at the board. It's gonna be.
I've already started mentally placing some things, around.
I need to have a list of everything first before I can officially start mentally tracking that. It's a lot.
I will get one and send it to you. That way we're working off the same list.
Yeah. That works. And also, we said we're going to also review Days of Future Past and Guardians 1.
Yeah.
And then, of course, very soon, we got Dragon Con. We'll be giving you guys our review of that this coming up year as well.
Yeah. The lineup for that shit is crazy already.
Yeah.
And more to come.
More to come. Yeah.
Yeah. Even if they had cut it off 3 weeks ago, the lineup would be insane.
Yeah. So, yeah, this year's Dragon Con is going to be amazing. If you guys aren't familiar about Dragon Con, I highly advise you take a look at it. It's one of the biggest nerd conventions of the year.
It's going to be something.
And also, for those of you who will be there, we'll be there too.
Yeah, we'll be there. Come up and say hi. You know, especially if you're a cosmic nerd. Odds are you'll see me anyway. So we're going to be at the same shit. It's going to be hard for me to find time to go do all of that and then go to all these comic creator panels.
Right.
I know Teeny Howard is doing another panel this year. I'm probably going to let you hit that one. And then I'm going to probably have to go do something else.
I think I already had something lined up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't got enough alcohol.
Yeah. We had plenty of alcohol.
Man, we were drunk before last year, so it wasn't that bad. I don't remember anything that they talked about.
Right. Talking about the X-Men. I was like, I don't see Chris Claremont here nowhere.
Yeah.
Going home. But that's going to be all for this one, homies. Thank you guys again for listening again. And for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, thank you guys for giving this a look-see. Now that you've seen us, you were probably unsubscribed from the channel. But all jokes aside, that's going to be all for now. We'll see you guys again very soon. But until next time, my name is Superhero Homie Q.
And I'm Superhero Homie Caleb.
Until next time.